They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, yeah. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly, yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation, now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Swatting all blood like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I had to prove to everybody else. I had to set them straight. Yeah, I had to ball, so I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate.
Salute. I hope I am coming in clear. Salute. Mic check. Salute to everybody in the building. I know we creeping in that time of the day. Everybody's on. Everybody is on right now. Salute to boxing.
Salute, yo.
Let's build, man. Let's build. I'll do a little roll call, but I know y'all gonna stack in. But salute to CKK. Salute. I saw you yesterday, man. Salute, Chris. Man, salute to you, King. Salute.
All right. Easy.
Grassroots. Yeah, man. Back at it again. How you doing today, Ray Davis? How's your day treating you, man?
I'm chilling. Rollo in the building.
Yo, Rollo Green in the building. We kicked off. We was Rollo. We was in Candyland together. Pause. You know what I mean? Salute to Rollo Green in the building. Hey. You know what I mean? What's good with you, Ray? How everything going for you, man?
Chilling, Clay, man. Another beautiful day, another beautiful moment. You know what I mean? Waking up to my precious air, oxygen, children, wife, friends. You know what I mean?
Man. God is good, man. God is good like that. God is good like that all the time, man. Yeah, man, a whole lot of stuff going on. Yesterday was a crazy show. Like I enjoyed yesterday's show, but it was I feel like I didn't really get to the points that I wanted to get to as much. But I mean, it was a good show. Today we're gonna try to like really double down and lock in on these topics. But you know, so many things change inside of 24 hours. You think one thing is going on and it just layers up, right? Shout out to social media, shout out to Twitter. Always keeping us in the loop, keeping us up to speed with what's going on, and things are just unveiling themselves every single day. Culture nerds in the building. Salute, King. What's good, fellas? Ray loving that Lions gear, my guy. Lions all the way. Oh, we got Detroit in the building. Shout out to Detroit.
Oh, yeah. Really twisted, but you know, it's much respect. You know what I mean? I see them in my
Ray, because Ray ain't no damn Lions fan. Ray damn
I just like the match, man.
Fan, bro. He just like that light blue. He just like that light blue because he light skinned. So he like that light blue. There it is. You see that damn terrible.
It's upside down, right? It's upside down. Let's get it right.
So I don't know if that changed your opinion about him, Culture, but I did think that.
But you know what? I see the Lions in the Super Bowl with the Steelers, though.
Okay, that's what's up. Ordinary M in the building. Salute, man. Salute, family. Glad you are still with us, Rollo. That other guy said his cousin unalived you. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh my. Yo, shout out to Rollo Green. Shout out to Rollo Green for being a topic of a hit that he ain't even been a part of.
No doubt. Now, good to have
Surviving the
Rollo
mass
with us.
murders.
Good to have Rollo with us, man. Rollo ain't going nowhere, man. He too sturdy, he's solid. You're gonna have to knock him down with a damn Scud missile to get him out the way. It just you know what I mean? You ain't gonna just knock him down with no regular stuff.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, man, boxing doing what it's doing. We do have a couple of topics to cover today, guys. You know it don't stop over here. We had some announcements made yesterday. Look, we knew about this coming anyway down the line. The negotiations was already confirmed that they were in their final stages. I think more interestingly, unveiling the undercard is probably a little bit more revealing about the announcement yesterday. But we got to shout out Keyshawn Davis. It looks like he's going to start this year off straight up in style, right? So the announcement's been made. Keyshawn Davis versus Dennis Berinchyk is announced, official for February 14th. That's a Friday. Also Valentine's Day. They're going to be in Madison Square Garden, right? Big fight. Obviously, he's going to be fighting for the WBO title. This puts him in a whole different conversation in that 135-pound weight class division. Funny enough, earlier last year, as he was protesting and campaigning at the same time to potentially fight a Tank Davis, and Coach Kenny Ellis was letting him know that he wasn't even on the list. Well, look, man, things have changed. A whole year has gone by. Keyshawn's done amazing things last year, and here we are going into the first quarter of 2025. Keyshawn Davis has got a title fight in front of him with Dennis Berinchyk. If he's able to go ahead and get this victory, and I'll tell you what, Ray, if he gets his victory in dominating fashion, an even bigger deal, right? But the win has got to be the most important thing. First things first, let's get that strap, because once we have that belt, now the conversation changes. It changes a lot, not only for Keyshawn, but also for Top Rank and Bob Arum, who this is supposed to be their last year with ESPN. So listen, man, all these fights make a big difference. What's your thoughts on it, man?
Listen, man, no matter who wins this fight, it is a big deal. Hopefully Keyshawn gets the belt, because that's what's more important to me on my side of the street. I wanted to see Keyshawn mix it up with the best. I think the only opportunity he has is that golden ticket, which is that damn belt. I'll be happy for the dude to do it, man. You know what I mean? I wasn't like such a Keyshawn fan in the beginning. You know what I mean? Right. He started growing a little bit. Pause. But you know, yeah, absolutely. But as he started proving himself, stepping up the competition, being a more ring general type boxer, and not so much chitter chatter. You know, I don't like the chitter chatter, but you know, it's boxing. It's going to happen. Started growing a little bit, bro. Like started making his way. So yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely a big fan of Keyshawn. Looking forward to see what he does this year. I mean, I think is it official? Do we both favor him in this fight to get this win over Davis?
Yeah, I think he's favored by Vegas. Absolutely. Right. It is a dangerous fight. A lot of people are overlooking Berinchyk.
Right.
And if you watch Loma, you can see a lot of Berinchyk vibes. So, you know what I mean? He's not a pushover, and he may be able to use angles if he sees certain things. And you know what's crazy, Clay? You correct me if I'm wrong, but I think even with most of these fighters from Ukraine, they adjust on the fly, bro. They see something not working, they adjust quick, and I think it puts it surprises the opponent a lot. You know what I mean? I think that's where the opponent get it, like they get it like twisted, like they think they're gonna go in there and rock. Navarrete looks stupid dumb, bro. He came out, you know what I mean?
Right.
Punches and stupid dumb that whole fight after that.
I gotta say that you know, the Eastern Europeans come cerebrally intact, right? They come ready mentally. They understand the game. They understand boxing, right? They have good foot movement. They got good fundamental skills. They stay fundamentally sound, defensively sound. They understand the dynamic of, you know, the human body and the boxing assignment. You know what I'm saying? And they understand it. I think that more so when it comes to somebody like, let's say, Dennis Berinchyk, or I'll even go back a little bit and go with the Karen Kukajajian, right? Who mentally, cerebrally is there and able to compete at the highest level, but it just comes down to the physical attributes. You know what I mean? Keyshawn Davis is just a little bit more athletic. It's just more athletic, has a lot more power, you know what I'm saying, that I believe knows how to generate it. And you know, obviously has that finesse, that finessing, that Terrence Crawford, you know what I mean, aspect of the game that Keyshawn brings to the game. And in my opinion, is going to be the difference between these guys. But Dennis will definitely be able to deal with whatever Keyshawn's coming at him with. Like, it's going to be a war of attrition from the round one. I don't think I'll see Keyshawn Davis or pitchers seeing Keyshawn Davis really getting that edge and starting to run away with the fight until probably the middle to later rounds. I think Dennis will be there. You know, he'll lose a round, he'll compete a little bit better in another round, but you know, he's not there to just be dominated, and he doesn't have so much heart on his sleeve that he's going to sacrifice his well-being. You know what I'm saying? Going all out. I'm sure once he feels the aggression, he feels the power, he feels the intentions coming from Keyshawn Davis, that he'll probably be on his back foot and moving around and being defensive. And Keyshawn's going to have to force and, you know, use his cerebral mind to make opportunities to take advantage of if he's going to stop him or do something devastating. So we're going to see a different Keyshawn Davis. Not to say different, but you know, last year you saw Keyshawn Davis dealing with a lot of flat-foot fighters that were coming forward. I mean, you know, Pedraza was trying to move forward a little bit, but he was moving around a little more athletic. But when you look at Medueno, when you look at Gustavo Limos, these fighters were coming at him. He was able to kind of like stay defensively sound and kill them mid-range on that inside game. I think Dennis Berinchyk is probably going to make him work a little bit more, make him move, make him find. It's going to make Keyshawn show his boxing skills a little bit more, his ability to also adjust, right? Because Dennis is going to give him things that make him adjust and think and be like, how I'm going to get this dude? Like, I'm going to have to cut this ring off. I don't want to be chasing this dude around. I don't want to get overzealous. A lot of different things like that. And I think we're going to get an opportunity to see another layer to Keyshawn Davis's arsenal, right? We're going to get to see another layer of what he brings to the table outside of the power, outside of the explosiveness. Let's see how he does with a cerebral fighter. I would compare this fight a lot to a Terrence Crawford and any Eastern European he's fought, whether it be Madrimov or whether it be Victor Posto. That's what I plan on seeing from Keyshawn Davis. What do you think?
I hope you're right. I have to say, like, I watched top contenders, athletic fighters fight against Lomachenko, and I've watched them, you know what I mean, either lose or have the toughest fights of their career. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Jermaine Ortiz. And this is in recent times. I mean, you can go back all the way to even strong, powerful, semi-athletic fighters with Linares, right? And watching the
you're breaking up.
Guys, look, he's not there to really be like, I mean,
Ray, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. You're breaking up bad. Salute SOB TV in the building. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So it looks like you see a lot of that slipping and wild angle turning. Looks like he's going to, like I said, I've never seen many fighters, especially at these lightweight divisions, where these guys are able to adjust and slip at angles like, bro, it's crazy work. And when I see it with Navarrete, I was like, yo, this guy just like Loma. And if they all fight like this is trouble for a lot of people in the division. People will look at them and they think they got him. Loma was losing 6 rounds to Tio before he stepped on the gas. He was getting hit with some good shots, you know what I mean? And then when he started adjusting with one shoulder, apparently, right? We're gonna give Benavidez the hand and Shakur the hand and take the hand. We're gonna give Loma the shoulder, right? He was whipping Tio tail for the next 5 rounds, straight up. Tio didn't know what hit him. So same thing with Devin. He was in the mix with Devin. He just took over the round, like the middle of the fight, 4 rounds towards the end. And these are significant times. So if you see this in Loma, I'm not saying he's, but
you're breaking up again. You're breaking up bad. Your connection, I think, is bad. But I let the connection kind of come full circle. I do agree with you though, man. I think Dennis Berinchyk offers a lot of fights with fighters on the level of a Dennis Berinchyk. Coming out on the other side victorious or even dominant improves you. Like, this is a fight that makes Keyshawn Davis better. Terrence Crawford had these kind of fights during his career and people slept. And I guess his connection went bad, but he had these kind of fights in front of him and people slept on the value of these fights, would ask you who Terrence Crawford fought stylistically, fights like this make these fighters better, in my opinion, right? Keyshawn Davis gets an opportunity. He showed you what he can do with an aggressive fighter. He showed you how explosive and dangerous he could be. He shows you that you shouldn't just chase him around the ring, that you could walk into something nasty, and he's got all the abilities to go ahead and stop you. But now we get to see him deal with more of the slick fighter, who's just as slick as, like he said, like Ray said, of Vasily Lomachenko. So we're going to see this, and we're going to see Keyshawn adjust. And I agree with you, Rollo. Key does have to stay focused. I'm going to actually read what you said because I like what you said right here. He said Key has to stay focused, not let trying to please a crowd get him. Denny isn't washed like his former opponents. Dennis will come for a 12-round fight. 100%, Rollo, and he can get outpointed in this fight very easily if he starts to make knocking him out or stopping him a priority. So we're going to see the maturity in Keyshawn Davis. We're going to see the poise in Keyshawn Davis, or I'm hoping to see the maturity and the poise in Keyshawn Davis. This fight could be very more competitive than what people think it's going to be. I understand that people are looking for Keyshawn Davis to get this stoppage because they want him to make this huge statement so that him and Tank Davis could line up for one of the most exciting fights before Tank Davis leaves the sport of boxing. But, I think Keyshawn Davis does need to keep his eye on the prize. He has to focus on the assignment. The assignment is to win this fight and become a WBO champion. So now he brings that belt to the table, and this changes a lot of the conversation at 135 pounds. On the other side, Vasily Lomachenko still in the air. He may be retiring. He may not be retiring, but that IBF belt looks like there's going to be an opportunity at some point or another. If Keyshawn Davis is able to capitalize on this situation the right way and win, then he could be in a conversation to potentially go into a unification fight, right? And ultimately be in a conversation to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. So that's going to be real interesting. Real good news to hear that they finally put that fight together. The undercard seems pretty good. We got Abdullah Mason making his way back into the ring as well. Abdullah Mason, Mr. Activity, my little nickname for him. This kid stays busy as busy can be. I mean, when did he fight? I think November. This past November he fought. Here he goes, 12, 1, 2, 3 months later, not wasting any time, coming right back in the ring to fight against Emmanuel Jaime. This guy's 16-2 losses. Let's pull him up. Let's see what Manuel is looking like here. Decent 16 wins, 2 losses, 11 knockouts. Is this the guy who fought? Did he fight Rolly Romero? Yeah, I remember this guy. Didn't do too well against Rolly Romero. In that fight. Lost a unanimous decision, but it was a real ugly fight. Really wasn't letting his hands go like that. Rolly obviously didn't look good that fight. But look, Abdullah Mason building his resume up, staying busy, and that's an important thing for a fighter. I'm actually happy that this fight's happening. He just fought Rolly Romero, so being able to get him out the way will be him beating somebody who fought Rolly Romero, I guess. But more importantly, he's going to stay active. It's actually going to be interesting to see Abdullah Mason adjust. I want to see if he made any adjustments. We know in his last fight he got sat on his pockets like 2 or 3 times, right? But we saw him get up and basically keep on pushing forward with the same game plan that he had the whole entire time. Well, let's see if he makes adjustments, right? Because that fight may have been a good thing for him if he made the adjustments. But if he didn't make any adjustments, then it could have been a waste of time for him to get sat on his pockets. And what would be the adjustments that I'm looking for Abdullah Mason to probably be getting involved with? I probably want to see him be a little bit more poised, right? Not go rushing the knockout, box a little bit more, set these guys up, get these guys out of here, show the boxing space that you are also a cerebral fighter, right? That you're not just coming in to bully the opponent in front of you. This guy's not there to just be knocked out. You're also there to get better as a boxer. So I would like to see more poise in Abdullah Mason in his fight. And I believe we will see that. Let me see what's going on here. In the chat, we got a whole bunch of going on in here right here. What you got going on, Bub? Bub said Loma had how many fights before he got a title shot, though? Oh, you talking to Rollo. Okay. All right. Why does Shakur get to fight Floyd Schofield? What Schofield do to get a title shot? Best fight the best, right? Okay, y'all having a whole conversation here. Salute, Teach. How you doing, family? Salute to you. Boxing Sauce, man. The Boxing Sauce. Man, thanks for coming by the channel, man. Thanks for checking in, man. Definitely, man. Yeah, we definitely building on this Abdullah Mason right now and on that undercard. Are you back? Okay, there we go. Did you get it together?
Yeah. Hopefully.
All right.
Yeah, do what mean to punch me in the face.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, we're building on Abdullah Mason, though. You know what I'm saying? He's making his return, staying busy. November, this kid fought 3 months ago. He's fighting nonstop. You know what I mean? They're definitely, Bob Arum is definitely putting a campaign behind this kid, and he wants him to be, one of the next big guys coming up in that 135 division. And guess who he's fighting? Do you know who he's fighting?
No.
He's fighting Manuel. Let me see if you remember this guy, Manuel Jaime.
As soon as you said it, I think I knew who it was. Okay.
The old boy who fought Rolly, right?
That's twin.
Yeah, twin the Rolly. Right.
Yeah.
So he's fighting him 16-2. One of those losses coming from Rolly Romero, and 11 knockouts. He's a decent puncher. 11 knockouts. But I think more importantly, Abdullah Mason is staying busy, right? Like he's keeping his hands going. He's staying on weight. He's staying focused. He's staying in a boxer's mindset. But are you looking to see any adjustments? Because look, in his last fight, he did get put on his pockets twice. So do you want to see some adjustments made, or is he just be himself and just continue to move forward?
I think this fight ain't even worth it. Like, the worst thing you got to worry about is a wild hook. it's why.
The first round of Abdullah Mason was my round of the year. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I want to see the adjustments. Rollo Green says Mason is overrated, undisciplined, and too eager to get in the slugfest. It will show the more he steps up in competition. Listen, man. See, but what Rollo's saying right now, what Rollo is saying right now is exactly what I'm talking about, man. Salute Dragonfly. What he's saying right now is a legitimate observation, brother. It's a legitimate observation because at the end of the day, we've seen him walk through his opponents, and he goes without any sort of reservation. He has nothing to fear. He's not worried about any of the fighters that are in front of him. This could build up bad habits, and as the competition steps up for Abdullah Mason, it puts him in a lot of danger when he steps up to these. Because what you do, you know how I feel about habits. What you do most of the time is what you do all of the time, right? You know what I mean? So we got to be careful that as Bob Arum's building him up and getting him these fighters, that he's putting fighters in front of him that are not only helping him blow up his market value, but also helping him develop as a young fighter, right? Helping him get better each and every fight. You know what I mean? You don't think there's any value to that?
No, absolutely. I think I was saying that 3 fights ago. And I'm glad that Rollo was echoing it. I think we're also overstepping the boundaries because he's young. He's able to make adjustments quick. He's going to be able to tap into those situations, and he recognized in the ring, in his own comments. Hopefully, he takes heed on what he said. Another bright spot for him to look into is
salute JR Stock. Yeah,
looking at salute. Look at that whole week that he was fighting, right? So Floyd Schofield got dropped, right? Hitchens the next. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that connection is going bad for you, Ray. Bad connection. Yeah, you probably about to drop too, the way that thing is going. Yeah, it's bad.
All right. I don't know what's going on, bro.
But go ahead.
But Hackett, I said Hackett was in a similar boat. That's something for him to focus on. Being also a fellow prospect, he should realize that he needs to make the adjustment. He needs to see, you know what I mean? It's not just about him talking on what up here for boxing. Dub C, peace.
Salute, Dub.
Peace. Dub up there.
Oh, Dub, what's good, family?
But yeah, man, it's like he has to make the adjustments. He has to settle down, be humble, realize where he was, and make the right moves. If he don't, it's gonna be. Listen, we're gonna see it all over again. And another talented fighter that has the ability, being hard-headed and not being able to adjust in the ring, come to the demise. As Robert just said.
Yeah, man. I preach the level of competition and the development in the ring. These promoters and Top Rank. Listen, man. Top Rank has always been one of the best resumes, in my opinion, on building fighters. Right, like building them up the right way. But like I said, seeing how he went ahead and he stopped Johan Vasquez, I believe was the gentleman's name. He stopped him, but he did get exposed. And Johan Vasquez did end up getting a leg injury. There are people who are going to go and say, listen, man, if this guy had 2 good legs under him, it'd have been a way more competitive fight. Abdullah Mason, you want to see him get better. Going into this next fight, there are things that I look for in every fighter, right? Like I said about Keyshawn, I want to see the poise. I want to see him take his time, pick apart Dennis Berinchyk, outbox him, move, cut the ring off, make the ring a smaller space, make Dennis operate in a smaller space, not necessarily chase this knockout or be over aggressive and walking into anything nasty. That's what you want to see from Keyshawn going into this fight. I think with this Abdullah Mason fight, a lot of the same thing, a little bit of poise. I'd like to see some more poise from Abdullah Mason. Take your time. Don't walk into anything crazy. And you got the opponent in there who could really lull you into a false sense of security to think that you can run right through him, because I'll be honest, you probably can't, right? Because the way we saw him perform against Rolly Romero, this guy is not necessarily the biggest threat. Now, this guy can improve. Clearly, he has a record, a winning record, so he can improve and offer some adversity in a fight. But still, even though you could, I don't want to say play with your food, right? Don't play with your food. You know what I mean? Don't do that. But at the same exact time, don't just run him down and just get him out of there. Take the opportunity, get some rounds in, get that boxing going. You know what I mean? Let them hands go, set him up, get him out of here. Let's see you do it in a real nice, slick, pause early, sexy way. You know what I'm saying? Get him out the way, but at the same time, show everybody that that you've made some adjustments from the last fight that you had. You know what I mean? Let's just see what he does. But Abdullah Mason, man, super active, back at it again on that undercard under Keyshawn Davis. Honestly, Bob Arum has a nice little team of fighters that he seems to be bringing out together all the time. You know what I'm saying? It'd have been, right. I think the only fight this card is missing is probably Brian Norman Jr. You know what I mean? I don't know if he wants to give him his own card, but he has a nice little team on there. On top of that, we got an oldie but goodie, right? A fighter who last time we saw him kind of got exposed in a big way by Martin Bacoli. Jared Anderson back to the drawing board. He's on this card right now fighting. Honestly, he's fighting like a second tier type of heavyweight.
B level, right?
Yeah, like a B level. Who's Jared fighting? Jared's fighting a Marios Calais. This guy, let's see what Marios Calais is working with. Marios Calais, 12 wins, 10 knockouts, winning record, 3 losses. He's been knocked out 1 time. Obviously, this guy, if I were to put my money on it, is being put in there as food, you know what I'm saying, for Jared Anderson to kind of let his hands go. But still, regardless, right back to the tape, right back to the drawing board, and right back to the same conversation. What are we expecting to see from Jared Anderson going to this fight? You know what I mean? What do we need to see? Like, I mean, because this guy was supposed to be the top American heavyweight in the conversation. You know what I mean? The top one. So what are we expecting to see from him? What are you looking for from Jared Anderson in this fight outside of a stoppage?
Just like any has a tough fight, like almost like a Claggett style fighter, right? You want somebody that's going to be there for the taking. I want to work on your development, your skills, get back to the basics, and make sure that you're still a boxer in that ring. You're no longer a showman, right? Right. Too many of these guys get in there, and once they get on, like you said, creatures of habit, and they start, what's up, Ryan Frazier in the building, salute. Yeah, once you get in there and you start acting like, you know what I mean, like listening to the fans, and you think that you can do like a Mason and just keep attacking, keep getting knockouts, and anybody gonna be happy about that, and you following these fans and these footsteps, then you're gonna end up in a situation like with Jared Anderson, right? You're gonna be like, oh, this is the way I gotta win. This is what they like, and you're gonna be a creature of that habit. You're gonna be in that motion. So this is a good setback fight for him, and it's a test too. It's not like just a cakewalk. So it's a good fight for him to get in the ring with. Hopefully he ain't a little gun shy, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be very wary of what's coming back his way initially. And I think as he starts fighting, he'll pick up the pace. He'll start doing some of the things, hopefully. And this is a good time to fight.
No doubt.
Salute, Clay and Ray.
Yeah, you're breaking up bad, man. I don't know. Your connection is horrible today. Salute the boxing hacker in the building, putting some color in the color in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Don't have me out here begging with my little pen. King, arms for the poor. You know what I mean? Let's keep the channel going. Show some love. Shout out to Boxing Hacker saying salute Ray and salute Clay and Ray. What a great step-up fight for Abdullah. Do you think he beats Andy Cruz? And did y'all something about who Clarissa is fighting? Danielle Perkins, I want to say is her name. Talk about taking a risk. This is going to be the first fight, in my opinion, where I'm actually interested in. Like, I don't know, I'm expecting Clarissa to win, but this girl Daniela is really she a whole threat. She a whole legitimate threat, bro. Like, I mean, we could talk about that as well. I'm expecting Clarissa to win, though, without a doubt. I am expecting her to win. But how do you feel about that fight? I mean, just to touch on it lightly. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough fight. I said Clarissa wins, but this girl has a lot of power, man. And she's a big, no disrespect to women and body shaming, but she's a big girl, man. She's not an easy task. So
bro,
to put her out, it's gonna be hard. You know what I mean? You better hope she's something where you can just keep pounding on her face.
You're breaking up, man. I'm going to be honest with you and say this. I can see Clarissa getting on her bicycle in this fight. I'm going to say like that, right? Winning this fight on the back foot. I could see that happen. I could see Daniela walking her down, trying to get her out of there. I could see Daniela definitely hurting her in this fight without hitting her with something. We could see Clarissa Shields get hurt in this fight. This is a real fight, but I think the IQ and the pedigree is there for Clarissa Shields to win this fight. But it's going to be an interesting fight. I got to be honest, man. I'm not normally that interested in Clarissa Shields fights. I normally know how they're going to go. I just watch to support for the most part. But I'm actually interested in this fight. I actually want to see how Clarissa deals with this adversity, man, and we'll see what that turns out to be. Bringing it back full circle to Jared Anderson, back to the drawing board in this fight. Yeah, I want to see some poise. I want to see him not getting hit clean like he gets hit. Look, I've watched Jared Anderson get hit clean for a while now. This isn't the first time. That Martin Bacoli fight wasn't the first time I've seen him get hit clean. We saw him go through that with Charles Martin. I've seen him get hit in other fights. He's just always been able to weather it and showed somewhat of a granite chin, right? Like, he could take a shot. But look, Bacoli let it be known, like, yo, when you get up in these big leagues, these punches stop people. This is big top 10 heavyweight boxing. The top 10 heavyweight boxing, anybody can get it, right? Top 10 heavyweight boxing, you don't just sit there and get punched in the head. The Dillian White might do Jared Anderson horribly dirty. Derek Chisora, and I'm going at the bottom of the list, right? Could do him dirty, right? These punchers are there to knock people out in the heavyweight division. They're not really finessing as much as you might believe. So I want to see Jared Anderson adjust. Take your time. Be poised. Be concerned about what's coming back at you. Let me see you get that head off the line. I know you can be slick. I know you got the power, but we want to see you put it together, and we want to be able to picture you fighting top 10 heavyweights after a fight like this, right? We want to see those type of signs that let us know that you and a Frank Sanchez is super competitive, and a Jogba is super competitive, a Joseph Parker, Moses Atuma, these fighters that are also trying to build their name up in the heavyweight division. I want to see Jared Anderson get back in that conversation. You know what I mean? I want to see him get back in that conversation. I don't know if this fight is going to be the one to get him back in that conversation, but it's definitely got to be a step in that direction, right, Ray?
Facts. 100%. I'm gonna keep it short until I think I figured out the problem. So go ahead. Okay. I'm gonna keep it short.
Yeah. I mean that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? Jared Anderson to make his return on that card. Looking forward to see what he does. What's going on here, man? I was never high on him. Yeah, Here for Boxing said never high on him. Yeah, man. Listen, a lot of people, you know what I mean? A lot of people consider, but I think he's athletic. Salute to Skills from New Orleans. Yeah, man. So let's see what Jared Anderson brings to the table. Let's go ahead and continue to move the needle this morning, last night, wherever you're from. If we got anybody from Australia in the building, salute. The fights are on that card. I haven't watched the card yet because it was at a weird time. I caught Jai Opatai fighting this morning when I woke up this morning. I thought I was going to catch the results from that fight, being that it started at 3 a.m. But I was there. I was like 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. And I caught the fight from the beginning. You know what I mean? Hold on a second here. Let me go ahead.
You good.
All right, you good?
Yeah, I'm doing my best. I'm deleting some stuff at my file pool.
Okay. But Jai Opatai, 4th round KO of David Naika this morning. man, he's just looking like a dominant. He's such a dominant force in the cruiserweight division. You almost want to see him just go to heavyweight. Like, you almost just want to see him go up to heavyweight and compete up there. But look, he has plans. He wants to unify. He wants to do a lot of things in the cruiserweight division. But man, I mean, when those haymakers are coming from him, man, those shots, everything hurts. And he's not throwing haymakers. He's setting up shots. Great lateral movement, great presence in the ring. He understands where he's at in the ring. He has good fundamental boxing skills, man. I like what I'm seeing from Jai Opetaia, man, but he's running through these opponents at times. I mean, his last 2 fights were pretty competitive, but at this point, I think you want to see him in there with Zurdo, right? You want to see him in there unifying. You want to see him getting belts. You got to think. I heard rumors, Ray, that this weight cut might not have been the easiest weight cut for him, that he might have actually, you know what I'm saying, had to put a little extra work in. So it looks like the weight class is starting to become a little bit of an uphill battle for him to stay in. Heavyweights right there. Everybody wants to see him in the heavyweight division. Jai Opetaia has talked about going to the heavyweight division himself, but clearly he has unfinished business. He wants to unify that division. But did you get an opportunity to see any of that fight this morning?
Yeah, absolutely. I watched the destruction, the whole 3-round destruction of homie. Actually, he was fighting pretty good the first round. First round was pretty competitive.
Was it a 4th round? It was a 4th round knockout, I think.
I thought it was 3rd.
I could be wrong.
Might have been 4th. You might be right. I know it was early. I know, man. He hit him. He had that dude leaning on the ropes and still hit him.
Yeah, that last shot he hit him with, that left hook that he hit him with while he was against the rope, kind of looked like his right arm got kind of like he was trying to hold himself up on the rope, and it just left his whole entire right side open, and Jai just hit him with that left hook. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy. It was a 4th round knockout. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the correction.
I mean, look, man, the dude is a beast, man. The dude is a beast, a straight animal, man. Nothing to be played with. You got to give him his respect. Jai just, everything he hitting everybody with bad intentions. And like I said, he brings that pedigree. He brings that pedigree to the table. He's not just like a puncher. You know what I mean? He's been challenged too. He's fought some decent cruiserweights in that division. You want to see him go up there, but how you feel about him versus Zurdo Ramirez? Zurdo being like a volume puncher, kind of like a heavier David Benavidez in many ways. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What do you think about him unifying? What you think about that fight between those two guys?
That's going to be a tough fight. This is what I like about hopefully I'm still.
You're clear.
Okay. Hopefully I'm still clear here. But I think when you got Gilberto Ramirez, right, in this type of fight, in this atmosphere, he's a come forward fighter. He's not running. He's probably the bigger fighter. And though Joe Opetaia was throwing a lot of crazy hooks today because he felt like he could take this guy out, when I noticed that somebody like Gilberto Ramirez, like Zurdo, I'm like, yo, Zurdo going to be right there for the taking, but Zurdo's going to punch back. He also is a heavy-handed fighter, and he's going to look for his opportunities. And seeing that Opetaia, like, he gets hit with a lot of things coming back, regardless of who it is. I've seen him in 12-round fights. I've seen him in other fights. He gets hit. Zurdo has a clean opportunity to make this to unify and take the belt from Opetaia, but Opetaia is very slick, very Bivol-like. I don't know. It's a fucking 55.
Yeah, you're breaking up again. I'm gonna say that when I last saw Gilberto fight, what I did notice is that he is, although he's got a decent sized frame on him, you can still see the super middleweight on him. You know what I'm saying? You can still see the light heavyweight. Yeah, light heavyweight. You can still see the light heavyweight on him, and I think he's fought down there at super middleweight at one point as well. You could see that the volume punching and his athleticism is what he's bringing. He's faster. He's a little bit more slicker than the guys up there at the cruiserweight division. He's going to offer, and he has that volume punching working for him. Even though he might look like he's bigger than Jai Opetaia, I think on that night, I would expect Jai Opetaia to be the stronger, the bigger puncher, and ultimately operating as the bigger fighter in the ring. I would expect to see Zurdo Ramirez moving around a little bit more, taking advantage, letting off a lot of good combinations. I think he's going to be able to work a lot of angles on Jai Opetaia, but he definitely has the power to do something bad to Jai Opetaia as well. He has the power there to do it, but I don't know if that chin. I mean, he was getting. Listen, when he fought his last fight, who did he fight against? Who was that? The Englishman he fought against? Oh God, who was he? Because this guy was punching. Is a good puncher, man. He showed that he got a good chin on him. You know what I'm saying? Let me see who was that he fought. Hold on a second. Ramirez. Let's take our time here and find this dude. Is this him? Is this you, Gilberto? No, not this one. Must be the other one. Gilberto Ramirez. Let's go for the second one. Yeah, he fought. Chris Billiam Smith. Chris Billiam Smith, right? That's who he fought in his last fight. And Chris Billiam, got some power and was putting some heat on him. He was able to weather that, and he was able to, come out on top in that fight. But it's not going to be the same as Jai Opetaia. And Chris Billiam Smith didn't have the athleticism or the knowing, the cerebral capacity to really take those angles and get Zurdo out his way. I think Jai Opetaia will be able to do that. But it's going to be a super competitive fight, man. But that being said, not only Jai Opetaia versus Zurdo Ramirez, on the back end of this fight right here, which is huge, David Benavidez is going all or nothing with David Morrell, and we'll talk about that fight as well with him and David Morrell. But David Benavidez has made it clear that he has interest of going up there to cruiserweight. He said he wants to compete there against Zurdo, and he says he can do something with Jai. He wants to become a unified champion. He wants to open up his opportunities. Some people are saying, if he's talking that way, that he's really saying he doesn't want to fight against the winner between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. I don't know if that's what I would say. I don't see no reason for him not to be confident, but I'll tell you what, with the politics of boxing and the way David Benavidez has been treated in the boxing space, I'm not shocked at all that he wants to open up his options and let the boxing space know that he's not going to get caught up in that same politics he was getting caught with at 168. He's making it clear. If it's not going to work at light heavyweight, if this is not the fight that's going to happen, then we're going to make our next move. We'll go up in weight. We want to be great. We want to fight the best of the best opportunities out there, and it can happen. The cruiserweight division can get interesting, in my opinion, in a little bit of time, right? It's not that many fighters up there, but you bring David Benavidez up there, you get those unifications going. Obviously, sooner or later, these guys are going to go up in the heavyweight division. Even David Benavidez has talked about going up into the heavyweight division. So I could see all these guys getting on the same page, and we look at some great fights being made in the cruiserweight division. I don't know. Ray stepped off, so I was going to ask him what he thought about that. It is what it is.
That's cool. I'm here.
Are you good? So, I mean, what do you think about how the cruiserweight division is looking? I'm going to go back, obviously.
If I break up, just let me come back. Just give me a thumbs up going back or whatever. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think I mentioned this back about a year ago when I said when Benavidez announced his move up, and I said, look, you're going to start seeing Morrell move up. You're going to start seeing these bigger divisions. You're going to start seeing the cruiserweight division, which is starting to get a lot of fighters in it. Some of those light heavyweights moved up. Some of those guys, young guys from across the world, are starting to showcase. And I start seeing these divisions that popular.
Guys, we got 57 people in the building. Please take your time to go ahead and hit that like button. Let's help us hit the algorithm the right way. Please hit the like button. It's free. Support the growth of the channel. And once again, don't be scared to put $1 in the super chat. Refresh the super chat. Just make sure your super chat is working. Let us know. So if there is an issue, we can holler at YouTube. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You're back.
All right. So yeah. So so like I said, hopefully this speeds up everything. I just got rid of a whole bunch of files on the main drive. Yeah, so it just like I said, I just think that when we I was saying that these guys are going to all start moving up in these larger divisions. You're going to start seeing some more competition in these divisions, especially as more fighters across the seas are starting to get noticed and recognized. We're going to start seeing a bigger, better cruiserweight in the dead. Remember, we called them dead zones, right? It was like light heavyweight division is a dead zone,
right.
Like their opportunity
like the Bridgerweight in division, in my opinion, is dead zone right now.
160 dead zone, right? We was calling them that, and now they're starting to be the most popular division. 154 was banging, 140 was banging. Because remember, at one point we were talking about 147 dying, right, and everything moving around. That's the same point. So I see that these divisions are actually starting to populate. 168 looks like that's the division that's slimming down and becoming.
You're breaking up.
Let me know.
You're breaking. Yeah, you're back. You're back. You're gone again. You're gone again. You're gone again.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't like me saying super middleweight, but
yeah,
it look like
the system is not appreciating your perspective on a super
middleweight.
Bro.
It isn't. It's This is crazy work today. I'm about to jump on my laptop. Watch. I'm about to just bring my laptop up and jump on. But yeah, it just looks crazy, right? It looks crazy that we're looking at this in that sense. But
yeah, I agree with you. Either way, the division is getting interesting. Cruiserweight is getting interesting. Obviously, the light heavyweight division is also getting interesting. Don't know what David Benavidez is planning on doing. If he is planning on going up, there's other questions that we can bring up, but we'll continue to move on the conversation. Congratulations to Jai Opetaia, 4th round KO, looking dominant in the cruiserweight division, looking unstoppable again. Although we got to remember that Naika was coming off of like a 3-week notice, really an amateur, really was supposed to lose this fight. But look, man, he was looking decent early in the fight, but that experience, that power, not being able to adjust, Jai Opetaia bringing that athleticism as well. He was able to really just keep that pressure at a high level. He really wasn't, he made short work of him once he figured him out. Once he found that distance and he was able to start connecting and letting them hands go, you saw it coming, and it is what it is, right? But we continue to move the needle. What's going on here in the chat? Let's see here. But Ray Morrell has been, hold on a second here, man. Raul Thomas, Tank Ken, man, so much going on here. Let me see here. But Ray Morrell has been calling for Benavidez since 168 and even said when Benavidez moves up, he was going to, so that it'll force Benavidez and the people to make that fight. Yeah, man. And we're going to talk about that as well, because I'm being honest with you. I think David Morrell and David Benavidez, we already know it's going to be a super competitive fight. But I think that there's going to be some adjustments that are going to be needed to be made in that fight in order for David Benavidez to get the result he wants. And I think David Morrell is going to have to make adjustments as well. David Morrell, not for nothing, is not a one-dimensional fighter. He can move around. He can box. He can cut those angles. He understands how to take advantage of somebody who's coming forward on him. David Benavidez stylistically may really be tailor-made for David Morrell's style and approach to the game. And David Benavidez is going to show the world that he is great. He is a Mexican monster, but the Mexican monster, just in definition of the word, would have you believe in somebody who's going to walk somebody down, somebody who's just overwhelming and just taking out everybody in front of him. He might have to adjust, box a little bit more, find his own angles. His footwork is going to come into scrutiny in this fight. Defensively, him taking those shots, the way he was able to walk through certain shots with opponents he fought at 168. I don't think he's going to be afforded that same luxury against a David Morrell to just be able to take straight shots. This fight's going to be very, 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 very interesting, man. You know what I mean? Very interesting. What do you say here? Secret dance move. What'd you say? Let me see here. Bobby Claymore, you see this? LOL. No, I don't see it. Mason's actually tailor-made for Camaro Moten and Vargo to Clay. Boom. So again, the more I watch of both Morrell and Benavidez, the more I feel confident Morrell is winning. Yeah, secret dance move. He really moves around really well, man. He really moves around a lot more, and I'm feeling the same way you are. As I'm watching just David Morrell's fight, I'm just like, man, he's way more athletic. His movement is just different. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be interesting, man. What a great fight it's going to be. You know what I mean? But David Benavidez is going to, I don't want to say be in rare form, but he's going to have to show improve on a lot of different stages. All those weaknesses and things that people talked about David Benavidez having at 168, and even though he was able to overwhelm those opponents, I'm telling you guys, David Morrell can make him pay for those things. And I think he's equipped cerebrally, in his mind, mentally. I think Ronnie Shields, I think he has the right circle of people around him. I think we're going to see some real good adjustments by David Morrell. And I'm questioning right now, what kind of adjustments are we going to see him do, David Benavidez, with David Morrell? Because I don't know if I've ever seen David Benavidez legitimately adjust. I've seen him adjust a little bit, but we're going to find out, right? We're definitely going to find out on February 1st. It's not that far away. These questions will be answered sooner rather than later, ladies and gentlemen, for sure, man. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, though. Look, man, Teofimo Lopez back in the news for the wrong reason. Teofimo Lopez is really, in my opinion, potentially doing his career one of the biggest disservices at this point. I'm not going to lie to you guys, right? Like, I'm an unbiased person. I'm not even going to hold it against Teofimo, all the racial charged antics that he's been doing. I'm not going to hold it against him. We're going to just talk boxing and Teofimo Lopez right now, right? Now, the antics will get brought up, but we're not going to sit here and hate Teofimo Lopez or, dismiss Teofimo Lopez because he has a poor choice of strategy when it comes to trying to make the biggest fights, right? Hold on, what's going on here? I can't wait for February 1st. No doubt the boxing source, that's a fact, man. 3 weeks away, 100%. Tio is putting himself in the worst case scenario, doing his career the biggest disservice right now. He'd have you believing that this is all God's plan for him. He'd have you believing that he's business savvy and he understands how to move around in this space better than most people. But look, at the end of the day, the ends will always justify the means. We always going to judge the walk. The talk is all good and gravy, but the walk is going to let us know. We don't really need to hear what Teofimo is saying. He's really making it cringe every time he talks. But let's talk about the moves he's making. Let's forget about the talking that he's doing. Teofimo last year, let's pull up his box rec right here, right? Let's just be honest about what we're looking at here when we're talking about Teofimo, because he's really doing himself a disservice at this point. To see him go on social media and just be putting out the laundry about the people who are basically holding his career in the palm of their hands and seemingly believe that him doing this is maybe like when the Locks were trying to break away from Puff Daddy, right? Like he's throwing out televisions and refrigerators from the top of the rooftop of buildings trying to get out his deal. And I don't think he's getting the results he wanted. So let's go all the way back to his loss in 2021 against George Kambosos Jr. Lost a split decision in that fight. Had the world thinking that he might potentially go ahead and retire, but came back and fought in August of 2022, right? Almost, we'll say 9 months later, fought Pedro Campa and was able to stop Pedro Campa in the late rounds, in the 7th round of a 10-round fight, right? Okay, I don't even think that fight caught the attention that he might have wanted people to catch, but we wanted to see the next fight. And what was the next fight? He came back and he fought Sandor Martin, won a split decision with Sandor Martin. Most people thought he lost that fight. And in that fight, I believe, was the fight where he sat there and said, do I still got it, right? He became very disenchanted with the sport and said basically that he was going to retire. He was dealing with a lot of personal issues and drama, him and his wife, him and his father, family issues. We don't need to lean on that and make that a big part of the conversation. But just to say that between George Kambosos and the COVID he has that he feels like almost killed him, Pedro Campa, a fight that not too many people paid attention to, but he did get a stoppage in that fight, and then a split decision win against Sandor Martin in a fight that most people thought he lost. He just wasn't taking advantage of the momentum he built for himself off the back end of beating a Vasily Lomachenko, right? It wasn't working out well for him, and he started doing a lot more talking and a lot less fighting. He just wasn't as active as we want him to be, as you'd want somebody who was in his position to be. Now, we go back and we move forward, and he has a fight a few months later. Well, actually, yeah, about 7 months later, he has a fight with, not 7 months later, hold on a second. 22. About 7 months later, he goes ahead and he gets in a fight with Josh Taylor. Wows the world, blows the world away. Oh, he's back. Super performance. He was the underdog in the fight. Everybody thought he was going to lose the fight because Josh Taylor at that time was an uncrowned, undisputed champion, right? In that division. He was stripped of some of his belts, but he was one of those guys. And T.O. made him look like he shouldn't even been in the ring with him. And he made his first official statement about the takeover, he in the ring, not with his words, but in the ring, you start to see, you know what? This dude right here might be the best 140-pound fighter in the division. Then he goes ahead a few months later. What are we going to say? About 8 months later, he goes and he fights Jermaine Ortiz. Lackluster fight. Keep in mind, he keeps on throwing out that he's going to retire. He's letting the world know that his relationship with Top Rank isn't where he wants it to be. He's made statements in the past about Top Rank and their black fighters, and he starts making his racially charged campaign about not being treated equally, things of that nature. Gets in the ring with Jermaine Ortiz, gives a super lackluster performance, not able to cut the ring off, chasing Jermaine Ortiz all the way around the ring, ends up giving Jermaine Ortiz a headbutt. If it wasn't for the headbutt, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest with you, I think Jermaine Ortiz would have won that fight. I think that headbutt put him in a position that put Jermaine Ortiz on his bicycle in that fight, and Teofimo was able to comfortably walk away with the second half of that fight and get the win, right? With Jermaine Ortiz was boxing his ears off for the first half of that fight. And then he goes quiet again. This is when it becomes interesting with Teofimo Lopez, because now he's supposed to fight Subriel Matias around the Jermaine Ortiz time. I hope you guys can remember around that February time, he put the fight out and offered to fight Subriel Matias, but Subriel Matias had just hurt his hand, right? And Subriel asked for an extra month to go ahead and let the hand properly rehabilitate, and said he wanted to make the fight happen. Subriel Matias, an IBF champion at that time, guys, right? An IBF champion. It would have been a unification title fight. Big fight that could have been made for Teofimo. Probably would have helped his market value go straight through the roof. He'd have been the first person. Well, no, at the time, Subriel Matias already had a loss, but he avenged that loss with a knockout. But still, being that Subriel was the boogeyman of the 140-pound weight class division at the time, it'd have been a huge win for Teofimo Lopez, and he would have been a unified champion, lineal champion at 140 pounds. He doesn't take that fight. Instead, he jumps in the ring with Jermaine Ortiz, has a super regular, look like a regular guy, dare I say, look like very beatable by a lot of other fighters by the way Jermaine Ortiz was able to, let's be honest, expose him and show them that he can't adjust. He has no strategy. He can't cut the ring off. He had all these flaws that Jermaine Ortiz exposed, but he wanted to come back and show the world that he was still the takeover. He wanted to be with a fighter. He charged it to Jermaine Ortiz and said the reason the fight didn't look that way was because Jermaine Ortiz was on his bicycle. He didn't want to fight. I can't make that guy fight. And look, I'll go with that. That's okay. We can go with that, right? He says that, and he puts a fight together with Steve Claggett from out of Canada, right? He beat Steve Claggett in a unanimous decision, but we see him put hands and feet on him, right? Hands minus the feet. But I would say he got everything put on him except for feet. You know what I'm saying? Gives us nothing, a big nothing burger, right? 2 swollen eyes, and he's now on a mission to go ahead and fight Terrence Crawford. His campaign is to go ahead and challenge himself and fight the best of the best. The best of the best.
Hold on.
Yeah. He wants to put a fight on the best of the best. He's no longer interested in the fighters that are in his division. He's bringing up Brian Norman at the time, which I was excited about, to be honest with you. I'm like, all right, well, Brian Norman, a brand new crowned WBO champion at 147 pounds. T.O. talking about he wants to fight Terrence Crawford. Okay, well, you want to fight Brian Norman, become a WBO champion at 147 pounds, get in the conversations of unifying with the likes of Boots Ennis, Mario Barrios, right? Stanionis, right? That sounded good to me. But still, that fight doesn't end up happening. And we'll talk about that a little bit later as well, guys, because it's interesting as to his reasoning behind why he didn't fight Brian Norman, right? Because I don't want you guys to forget that he's sitting here dealing with a top-ranked company that he's not on the same page with. He doesn't want to fight for Top Rank. And he's ducking and jiving and moving around and not making the fights that are actually there for him to be made. And instead, he's going outside of Top Rank's jurisdiction, and he's trying to make the quote-unquote super fights take place, right? Let me see if Ray's back and if he got his mic together.
Good. I'm good. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead, mic check.
Good? Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, we hear you. But back to the build a little bit to say that at this point he starts this whole entire deflection thing where it's about fighting the best. It's about fighting Terrence Crawford. All right, Terrence Crawford, we all know, is campaigning to fight Canelo Alvarez. He gets into training with Eddie Reynoso, right? He's getting Canelo to say, fight Teofimo first, then you can fight me. He's trying to get in a conversation, making these super fights. He thinks he's supposed to get the biggest paydays possible, and he's trying to show the world that he's trying to be the best fighting the best. Well, here we are in the present moment right now. He tries to get a fight with Jerron Boots Ennis. Jerron Boots Ennis, I've told you guys already, probably has no interest. I don't see why he would have any interest in fighting a Teofimo Lopez, even for the payday. Jerron Boots Ennis doesn't have a problem getting paid, ladies and gentlemen. That's not his issue, okay? If he wants to get paid, he can make a quick move to 154. Boom, he's in the money. He has no problem getting money. He's not at 147 trying to make the most money. We know he's down there trying to do legacy moves, and he's trying to at least unify the division. If he can be undisputed, even better. And Teofimo knows that, right? Teofimo's also aware of the fact that in order for Jerron Boots Ennis to defend his IBF title against him, that he's going to be under a rehydration clause. So he knows he's not getting a full version, a strong version of Jerron Boots Ennis. He just watched Jerron Boots Ennis give I don't want to say a lackluster because that's not what I would call that performance against Karen, but I'm going to say a fight that made him look human, that made him look regular, made him look like beatable to a lot of people. There's no coincidence as to why Teofimo's sitting there reaching to try to fight Jon Boots Ennis right in his moment of defeat. Probably the same reason why all of a sudden he's putting pressure on Devin Haney as well to make a fight with him, being that he's also trying to recover mentally from a crazy situation. He hasn't fought in damn near a year. He got punched all in his head by Ryan Garcia. All of a sudden, he wants to fight Devin Haney, right? He wants to unify for a recessed title that Devin Haney's sitting on and make that fight happen.
Word.
And Bob Arum says, listen, we'll try to go ahead and put that offer out, in my opinion, right? Well, not my opinion. That's factually what happened, but the reasoning behind it will be my opinion, to say that Turki Al-Sheikh, I believe, did have an offer on the table for Teofimo to fight Devin Haney. And I believe Bob Arum got in the way of that. That's what I believe. I believe Bob Arum got in front of that situation and said, if that fight's going to be made, it's going to be made right here with Top Rank. You're not going over there to Riyadh season. You're going to do that fight right here. He tries to put out an offer to Devin Haney. The offer is nowhere near the same offer Turki's able to put out there because Bob Arum doesn't have access to the same resources Turki does, right? So Devin and Bill walk away from that situation. You see what they did, guys. He went to Black Prime. They're making their thing happen with Black Prime. That's a separate conversation. We'll talk about it another time. I'm not sure. I'm sure some people in agreement with it. A lot of people in disagreement with it. Whatever you think about Devin Haney, it makes no difference, right? At the end of the day, Devin made a move for himself, put Teofimo out in the cold. Here, Teofimo looking like he's out here putting offers, trying to make the best fights happen. Bob Arum says, look, Subriel Matias, let's get this done finally. Horrible, tragic, because when the fight could have been made last year, when it would have been actually for a unification, when Subriel was actually champion, that opportunity's gone away. Since then, Subriel Matias has lost his title against Liam Paro. But at the end of the day, it's still a great fight. Puerto Rico's own Subriel Matias, the boogeyman, against Teofimo Lopez. A lot of people want to see that fight, but what does Teofimo do? He lets Devin Haney and Bill Haney get in his head, and he asks for a buyout. He says, how much is my buyout? And we are present day watching Teofimo do what he's doing online. And since then, made statements towards Devin Haney, towards Top Rank, towards Todd DeBuff, towards all the moving parts of Top Rank, and basically stating that there's been a conspiracy to blacklist him, to ice him out of the biggest fights possible. And here we are today. Now, that was a long rant. Long-winded, you know what I'm saying? Me trying to give the build-up to what Teofimo's doing today. But what are we looking at Teofimo doing at this moment? Let's be honest, right? At this point, Teofimo is throwing shots at Andre Ward, right? He's putting out tweets. Speaking to Andre Ward, right? What is he saying? When can I get on a podcast, or is it only a black entertainment champ? Just a question. I mean, insulting Andre Ward, right? Ultimately, At the end of the day, insulting Andre Ward. He's upset. Hold on a second. He's upset. It's a black and white thing for him. On the back end of Devin Haney putting out, right? Wait, hold on a second. Where's Devin at? Right here with Devin Haney saying, you talk about black people, and he's right. Devin is right. Okay. I know people want to disagree with him and make it like he's the bad guy, but he's being 100 with you guys, right? He says you talk bad about black people, but need a black person for a payday, right? Stay off those pills you love so much. I don't know about that. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's between him and Tio and God, right? And he says Tio got the nerve to try to offer somebody something to somebody, but be out here begging. I told him he's gonna fight for peanuts as long as he's with Bob. I'm making the real money, right? Look, it looks bad for Teofimo out here. It looks bad for Teofimo out here, man. It don't look right. It don't look good for Teofimo right now. I mean, I've gone on long enough. I got more I could say, but we got the co-host in the building. Shed some light on your perspective on the situation today. Watching Teofimo saying things like, and I have all the tweets here on file. We can go through them. You know, him being expensive, right? Right here, Teofimo yesterday. I'm too expensive for Top Rank, right? But the truth is, Todd, here it is right here, guys. What he's doing on social media. What's this looking like for his career at this point? I mean, what's it going to take to get this guy to get back inside of the ring at this point, Ray?
All right. So let's talk about being expensive, right? So we definitely knocked Shakur for not giving for selling out crowds and not giving the crowds what they want, right? So they feel that Top Rank feel like they probably wasted some money there. But are they really wasting money on Tio? I mean, look at the performance they put on, the showman situation, the other situation they had before that when he came out into the ring with that weird ring entrance, right? They're putting money in Teal's ring walks and things of that nature. They're investing into him. The thing is, it's probably part of his contract. Like, look, we're going to do this. We're not paying you this. Whatever the case may be, Teal is not put on the performances, but 2 times in his career, maybe 3 if you want to give him the what's the name fight when he took the title from Ngannou, the other African dude, right? If you really look at what he's done, what has he done for me lately? You know what I mean? He's put on bad performances. He's put on the worst performances out of all the so-called 4 kings. He's put on the worst performances at all his constituents at 140. Besides Rolly Romero, what has he really done for? He sits. Thank you.
Shout out Fighting Word with Bang. Shout out to you too, Suf or TW Suff 1.
Yeah,
I know.
he been throwing nothing but shade in the chat, and Tommy Hill had a request for you too. He's vouching for somebody.
I see it. I'm trying to find him. Tommy.
Okay.
I see you. I'm trying to find him right now and get it done. Go ahead, though.
But yeah, man. So like Teal's been definitely an echo chamber of himself. He had opportunities to make fights before. It seems like when you make the wrong decisions, let's just push your core in this situation. Had that opportunity for undisputed, but instead of him getting undisputed and having all the belts and everybody come to him, what did he do? He chose to beg for more money. Seems to be a top ring thing, right? Begging for that bigger purse. He lost out on more, and now he has to go chase the belts, looking more stupid and all these things, right? Now we're going to move into the category of Teal, where he has opportunity to make unification at one point to become undisputed at 135. He had opportunity to unify with other boxers at 140, and he's been wasting these opportunities on retiring and fighting lesser opponents, this and that nature, losing fights that he was granted wins. And I don't care how they want to put it. Hey, a win's a win. But in my eyes, he lost those fights, and it was 3 of them. And he's
3 of them. I know 2 of them for sure. Sandor Martin's definitely one of them, right?
Jermaine
that
Ortiz.
You feel like you lost. Jermaine Ortiz, and what's the third one you think?
I'm sorry, 2 of them. You're right.
Okay.
The guy that he was supposed to walk through 7 beat up on, right? That he wasn't even supposed to be in that type of fight with. The perfect opportunity to beat somebody up, and he just couldn't do. He couldn't muscle out the fan base. People were booing him in his own field. Then he talking about SMD. You know what I mean? Up to the people. It was crazy work. So it shows frustration. And why do you want this guy in your network and things of that nature? It's all he does is just create problems. You know what I mean? And you know what it is when people have problems with them, right? They usually let them go. But in this case, these are the people that you know are suffering from their problems. So you keep them close and you don't let them have an edge. And when you don't let them have an edge when they have problems, you just make them more frustrated. This is why this guy's talking about he's got mental health issues, because he can't control it. He has no control, no self-control. And he just thinks running his mouth and using antics, taking shots at Andre Ward, putting black people, as he would say, in the middle of things, when apparently his mom is supposed to be black, even though she's from Honduras, right? Because there's black people there. But apparently putting black people, throwing them under the bus and acting ignorant. This guy's crazy. This guy simply has not realized his reality. And listen, apple don't fall far from the tree. I think his dad has a little bit more sense to him, but he's back with him. The situation, the true he had.
You're breaking up. Let me just add to what you're saying, right? And look, I wasn't even trying to lean up on the racially charged energy he's been putting into the space, right? Because listen, man, I think this kid is just uninformed, uneducated in many ways. He tries to be articulate and say things, but when you watch Teofimo speak, when I watch Teofimo speak, what I see somebody who's trying to be something he's not, right? He wants to be good with words. He wants to say the craziest things, but a lot of times as you're watching him talk, he's not really making complete sense. A lot of word salad, a lot of, he'll refer to Rosa Parks being on the back of the back of a bus or in the front of a bus during a win against Sandor Martin. Well, not Sandor. Was it Sandor Martin? No, it was against Jermaine Ortiz, which he cried because he thought he lost that fight, right?
Right.
and you'll see him saying just these weird things, bringing up Jesus and being covered by God and making excuses as to why, racially charged narratives are part of boxing. And there's a community in boxing that's saying that as well, right? The history of boxing going back to when there were racial days with segregation and things of that nature. And when ignorant people were saying that, to turn that into something that is now a normal thing for boxing, right? What are you talking about? This is how fights get made. They've always done. The way you deal with it is in the ring. Shut up. Grow up. No, that's not the way you do it. And if that's the way they did it, you change the way that happens by not feeding into it. So if Teofimo Lopez is getting rewarded with super fights, right, with championship fights by race baiting people, calling people monkeys of that nature, then what's going to dissuade the next retard? Excuse me, let me take that word off because we're on the internet. Maybe YouTube might strike me. What's stopping the next mentally slow person from taking on that same strategy to making fights? Just because Muhammad Ali went through racial issues back in the day, Sonny Liston went through a racist time back in the day, just because these fighters back in the day were doing that doesn't justify today this guy sitting here thinking that that's okay. And he's saying this right out to the world, that this is the way to make fights. You want to stop me from saying it, fight me in the ring. No. And not to mention no, but on top of that, why? Why would Terrence Crawford need to prove anything to you and fight you in the ring after you've called him a monkey? For what reason would he do that when he's already a 2-weight class undisputed champion, this close to potentially inking out a fight with a Canelo Alvarez? Why would he do that, right? Why would he reward that with that type of energy? Of course he's not going to do that. So he's looking foolish. He's outside in the cold. He's outside in the cold with the boxing space because the biggest fights in the boxing space aren't available for him. Now he's putting himself out in the cold with his own promotional company, Top Rank, the one company who would have some vested interest in his success. He's burning bridges, calling them out by name on social media, calling out Todd DeBuff, calling out Bob Arum, calling out Top Rank, and basically saying that these guys have been trying to cut his legs from under him for the longest time period, right? This is what he's been saying, right? I mean, here it is right here, just in case there's an issue and we don't understand. Hold on, right here. Boom, right here, right? What is he saying right here, guys? I'm too expensive for Top Rank, but the truth is, here he goes, telling his truth, that Todd DeBuff is the issue here. Todd DeBuff by name, right? Chairman of Top Rank. He hasn't liked me or my father since I started to take over. He goes back to it being 2018, probably even beforehand. And now he's the chairman of Top Rank. So people do the math. By law, he has freedom of speech, right? Well, that's adorable. That's just adorable that he has freedom of speech and that he's using it. But here goes the bigger question. How is this helping his career? Is it helping his career at this point? Or is he just putting himself out in the cold? Because no matter how guys want to paint this picture, Teofimo has a window of opportunity to where he's the best fighter he can be. He's an athlete. He needs to take advantage of these years, but instead he's wasting time on the outside of the ring, doing a whole lot more than he's doing on the inside of the ring. A whole lot more than inside of the ring. And you got to ask yourself, even if you're a fan of Teofimo Lopez, if you want to defend everything he does, that's okay. You can do that. But here's the question. How does any of these antics get him any closer to having a fight in the ring or getting even an opportunity with another promotional company when he has a contractual obligation with Top Rank right now, dealing with Bob Arum, one of the most savvy, business savvy, lawful savvy promoters, most tenured promoters in the boxing space? Is this a war that he thinks he's actually going to win at this point? Is this a war that Teofimo actually believes he's going to win? Come on, man. Shout out to Edward Cuestas, who's probably cussing me out in Spanish, but salute to you, King.
Let me see. What you say?
He say something in Spanish. Shout out to Bang Bang Boogie.
Damn, bro. Yo, nah, get him off the chat, bro.
Oh, he's saying something crazy?
Yeah, he talking about your mom, bro.
Oh, man, crazy, bro.
Kick him off. We got to go. Guys, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Yeah, man.
Crazy work.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. They're going to be mad, right? But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you could be mad as you want to be. It's okay. You know what I mean? If you're a fan of Teofimo Lopez, if you want the best for Teofimo Lopez, if you want him to get the respect that you feel like he deserves, even in the spirit of that, in the crazy racially charged narrative campaign that he's going on, At what point does this come full circle into an opportunity for Teofimo Lopez? Huh? At which point does it turn into an opportunity for him? At which point does all of this that he's doing turn into a, man, that was all worthwhile, everything that I was doing? You're not sounding sharp. You're not sounding intelligent. You have your fans out here defending you to their own credibility because they have to defend some of the most heinous nonsense that you're saying, and you're never ending up in the ring when it's all said and done. So if you're a Teofimo fan, I feel bad for you, bro. Prayers out to you, bro. You guys are real soldiers, man. Keep representing for that guy, but don't be scared to send him a couple messages to his Twitter and let him know, hey, bro, fights are real, man. Fights are real, bro. Yeah, fights are real, bro. Get busy. Get in the ring and do something because this ain't it. This ain't it. I'm a Terrence Crawford fan. If I seen him wilding out like this, I'd send a message. This ain't it, bro. This ain't it. It is what it is, you know what I mean? But we'll keep it moving. But I definitely wanted to comment on it. And as far as the Andre Ward situation is concerned, let's be honest, guy. It's the same thing that Devin was saying. You sit out here throwing shots, calling people monkeys, calling people out their name, saying crazy, even to the Puerto Rican fan base out there, discrediting their fighters. And here you are demanding or throwing shade at Andre Ward to let him know that he should be interviewed. Who are you? You're not even active like that in the ring for Andre Ward to be called. What have you done that Andre Ward should call you up and interview you about what? To listen to you rant and say crazy stuff? You was on It Is What It Is, and I'm sure Cameron, definitely as funny as he is, definitely had to feel like we didn't need to have this dude up here. That was some nonsense. All that stuff he was saying, that was some nonsense, right? So what is Andre Ward finna talk to you about? It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see what happens, though. I'm just a content creator over here giving my little perspective on the boxing space. Teofimo is the scholar, is the business-savvy boxer in boxing. Let's see him bring it all together. Let's watch how a boss does it, and let's see Teofimo Lopez show the world how it's done. It is what it is. Salute to the queen. Here in front of the whole entire chat, embarrassing me on the chat. It is what it is. Salute to you, queen. I will give you a call after this live, though, and we'll build for sure. We got things to talk about, right, Rach? For sure. But yeah, I've been ranting, kind of killing the time, Ray, while you've been coming in and out, man. Feel free to tap in or however you feel. We can move the needle, whatever you want to do, brother.
You good. Listen, you said more than I needed to say, man. I've been talking about Teofimo for how many years, Clay, that you know me, and the fact that I've been on every chat prior to that, talking about Teofimo and the actions that he has. And I told him, I said, eventually he's going to self-destruct. Eventually he's going to have these outbursts. He continues to have them. Him and his dad are worse than as people predict that he needs to be. They have no remorse, and they use the race car to help them benefit themselves. They're trying to use that to get people behind them of an ethnicity, not a race, to get them behind them to force race cars on other people in situations. And when they do that, all they do is create more problems and drama. Listen, man, this ain't high school, and y'all are not women. Excuse me, no disrespect to the women, but get out your feelings and start acting like men. Pull your damn panties out your ass and get some damn drawers on and let them hang, because y'all act like some daggone little girls, bro. Like, seriously, high school.
Shout out to Chewy Coronado, man. He says you're not a Crawford fan, or else you'd be telling him to stay away from Canelo. I'm cut from a different cloth, Chewy. You must be like under 30. You know what I mean? Let me tell you, bro. Let me tell you, when I'm a fan, I want my boxer to fight the best out there. Yo, when Terrence said he could fight Canelo and beat Canelo, what do you think I'm going to do as a fan? I'm a real fan. I want to see him do that. I want to see him show the world that he can do that. I ain't scared of Canelo. I'm not getting in the ring with Canelo. Terrence is. But Terrence has shown and proved that when he says something, he's an undefeated 2-weight class undisputed champion, 4-weight class champion. If he says he can do it, I want to see him do it. That's what a real fan of boxing. Who are you a fan of? And if you say Teofimo, say less, gang. We understand exactly why you think I'm not a fan for wanting Terrence Crawford to fight the hardest fight out there. Say less. You already know. Ain't mad. Nobody supporting their ethnicity or their backgrounds, their heritages.
But yo, recognize what it is first, bro. And I'm not even gonna go down that road, Clay, because if I do, I'm gonna break it down.
Leave it right there. Let's not do it.
No, we're not doing that. I'm just saying I don't even want to go down that road. You know what I mean? That door closed.
No doubt.
Y'all just acting ignorant, bro.
But shout out to Teofimo Lopez. Listen, man, I'm a fan of your boxing, bro. I know that when you're in front of the right opponents, that you step up to the adversity. The harder the challenge, the better you're gonna come. I get it. Pause. The better you're gonna fight. So I'm looking forward to seeing the ring. I do think all that racially charged nonsense you're doing is just cringeworthy, and it's actually laughable at this point. Watching it actually legitimately blow up in your face in a present way, it is laughable. But at the same time, I'm not here to laugh at your pain. I'm more interested in you getting in the ring. I'm more interested in seeing you box. So whenever you're done with what you're doing and you get back in the ring, we're gonna cover you here. We love good boxing here on ATB Combat Media. We can't wait to see you get this all ironed out. Hopefully you'll find a different way to approach it. But listen, man, as soon as you can get in the ring, do so. I heard Subriel Matias is available. I think, you know what I'm saying, if he still is, don't be scared to make that fight happen. But look, at the same time, on the good news, Subriel Matias is also in negotiations with Elvis Rodriguez. So if you're not going to make that fight happen, we're still going to get to watch Subriel in a great fight make his comeback. It'll be for an IBF eliminator fight that'll put him right back in the conversation to fight a Richard Hitchinson. So let's see that come together. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Let's move the needle and keep on moving and go back. And let's go into the fighter that everybody says I'm not a fan of right now, right? Terrence Crawford to defy all odds, man. Now, we're talking about a fighter who's aiming at greatness, who, according to inside sources, may be closer to the finish line of putting a fight together with Canelo Alvarez than we're all anticipating, as this negotiation is an ongoing negotiation. It is not signed. It is not inked, but it is something that a conversation is happening. And in all honesty, let's talk about it, Ray Davis. Outside of Terrence Crawford right now, or outside, of David Benavidez right now, or maybe a Jake Paul, what's the biggest payday that's out there for Canelo Alvarez at this point? He's got to get paid. Is he worth the money? Listen, if you can get the money, you're worth the money. But how much can PBC pay him to fight a William Skull? How much is how much is any investor willing to pay him to fight a William Skull and become an undisputed for a second time? How much money can he get to fighting a Diego Pacheco or fighting a Caleb Plant again, or any of these other fights? Where's his payday at? If it's not with Terrence Crawford, where else is Canelo Alvarez's payday at this point?
I think I mentioned this yesterday. It's not really much he can do, man. Like, I don't think he gets anything over what's worth his value fighting anybody else, even a rematch with somebody like a Laura or something like that. He doesn't have anything on the table, man. Only thing, like I said yesterday, if he unifies, gets undisputed again, Terrence could take a fight or two in that time frame, and they can get it in like a undisputed versus undisputed again, or you know what I mean. Terrence comes up off of another win and looks good in that fight, and that can bring some more eyes to the table because he's now jumping up a division after successfully defending and unifying titles. That also helps. That builds up the bread. But I don't really see much, man. There's not really much out there unless he fight. I mean, nobody even wants to see that anymore. I was going to say Charlo. Nobody. No, nobody. Sorry. No, that's it. 3 fighters. That's it. 2 fighters. Charlo still has people who they want to see him fight. But the payday's money is generated. Yeah, the money's not there.
Right, I agree with you.
Yeah, no, they don't want to pay Charlo.
Let me ask you this, right? We got 2 fight dates from Canelo Alvarez. We know what the dates are. It's Cinco de Mayo, and then we have his fight dates in September. Is there anything wrong with at this point Canelo Alvarez fighting? Because I've seen somebody put something in the chat that I was also entertaining as well, because he is just a unified 168-pound champion right now. Him fighting against William Skull would give him an opportunity. We can legitimately give props to the opportunity in front of him to become a 2-time undisputed champion in one division. But still, he can become 2 times undisputed at 168, and that does kind of sweeten the whole entire fight between him and Terrence Crawford in the September fight. If Canelo Alvarez can bring all 4 of those belts to the ring, that does kind of sweeten it and make that fight just a little bit more of a statement. If Terrence Crawford were to win the fight, obviously he'd become a 3-weight class undisputed champion, but at the same exact time, way more interesting. I think way more exciting and interesting for a Turki Al-Sheikh. He loves to get involved with fights like that. An undisputed champion for his favorite fighter in Terrence Crawford. What do you think about him fighting Skull for Cinco de Mayo? For something like a $20 million, $30 million guarantee, and then ultimately coming full circle to fight in Terrence Crawford in September.
All right, so I'm gonna break it down like this real quick. I'm gonna be quick and possible. So fighting Skull, right? If we're gonna give Josh Taylor the undisputed
L-Dub,
yeah, we're gonna give him the undisputed crown of being the undisputed because he would never lost the titles, or same thing with Jermall Charlo, he never lost the titles. Why is he going to get 2-time undisputed? He basically just got stripped of the title. He never got beat for that title. So therefore, we're going to give him, mentally, not mentally, but on the real side of the paperwork, he's really not fighting 2 times. He's basically a person that just went and got his belt back that was already his. So I wouldn't even crown him that, but most people will because they're fans and he did it.
Exactly.
Right? So let's
give him. It does help Terrence out. It does bring the belt back.
That makes the pot a little bit bigger. Now you got 2-time undisputed versus 2-time undisputed. You got like I said, legacy versus legacy. You got a battle of 2 champions coming together for a mega fight, and it will be what that is. It'll be legendary, like I always said. This is the fight of the ages. You know what I mean? Especially current times. The guys came into boxing around the same time. These guys are leaving boxing around the same time. It's nothing sweeter than having the person across the ring from you especially if an injured career, be that guy that you started with. So, I mean, it works out. I think they have respect for each other also. So that helps in other sense.
Yeah. Also, salute to Band Up, man. Salute, man. I appreciate the support in the chat, man. Thank you, family. Thank you, bro. I didn't get you earlier because I was running my mouth. Yeah, man. I think it sweetens it up just a little bit, but shout out to L-Dub. Dub, I know, right? I was going to actually bring that up a little bit. Diego Pacheco is a potential opportunity if he's able to get through Steve Nelson January 25th. I think that's going to be a very competitive fight. And I think somebody asked me in here what I thought about it. If it wasn't secret dance moves, might have asked me about it. But look, he asked me what I thought about Steve Nelson. I think Steve Nelson is you got to say upset alert with him because he's a great shot selector. He's an underrated fighter to say the most. People underrate him because they haven't seen him be that active. But I think we have to take into consideration that Steve Nelson comes out of a great camp, right? With Bomac, with Terrence Crawford and all those guys. And he's been sparring Terrence for a long time. He's a gifted fighter, a great shot selector, right? He's good at taking advantage of he's good fundamentally. He understands where to be, where his feet are supposed to be. Diego Pacheco is the young guy in this ring. Steve Nelson is the one with the experience, to be honest with you. He's the veteran in this ring with Diego Pacheco. So that fight, Diego ain't gonna be a walk in the park, but Diego's been looking great, man. His last win against Sulecki was amazing. That body shot, the way he set it up, you saw him setting it up, him being able to go ahead and execute on that and stop Sulecki like that was amazing. That's gonna be a real great fight. But like I said, with Steve Nelson, underrated and big time upset alert. The light should be going off over there in Diego Pacheco's camp. Jose Benavidez Sr. and those guys have to know that they're dealing with a real live dog in that fight. It can go left very quickly in that fight. He's built like that. 100%. You know what I mean? He's definitely built like that. But let's
and speaking of Nelson, don't forget that Bud spars with this guy. So 168 fighting up there, he's already tested some of that power, bro. So let's look at
that's another thing. He's been sparring with Steven. I never even thought about that. He's got a great sparring partner in Steve Nelson for 168. He's got a great partner in there. He's not a Canelo Alvarez, but he'll get him prepared for 168, man. I think it's going to be a super interesting fight. I think people are sleeping on Terrence Crawford's durability, right? I think they're sleeping on his ability to absorb shots. I'm not saying that he's going to sit there and just be getting hit by Canelo Alvarez and absorbing it, but I think between his savvy, between his pedigree and his understanding on how to take punches, move, I think he's going to be way more effective in a mid-range fight than people think he can be. I don't think he'll stay there, but I think when he's in those in those predicaments, you'll see him get out of those situations and also potentially win some of those exchanges in the mid-range game. His body campaign is going to be, I think, at a high level. I wouldn't even be shocked that at some point in the latter rounds in this fight, you don't see Terrence Crawford walking down Canelo a little bit. I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Nope.
I know you don't see it, but I'm telling you, I think after a good body campaign from the early rounds, I could say, like Teddy Atlas says, putting all that money in the bank, you can see Canelo start to wear and tear in the late rounds in that fight and start seeing some dominant energy coming from Terrence Crawford heading to Canelo in that fight. You can see him on the ropes doing like he did with Dimitri Bivol, saying, come on, trying to walk Terrence into something because of that effective offense that he could bring to the table. I think he's being slept on, man. There's no need to ask what my opinions on it. I've been clear about it from the beginning. I'm definitely favoring Terrence Crawford to win that fight. But look, I can see why anybody else thinks Canelo should be favored. He should be favored. He's the 168-pound undisputed champion, bro. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't he be favored in his own division for somebody to come up 2 weight classes and beat him? You know what I mean? Yeah, I know 2 cents. I know. I mean, not secret dance move. Like I said, walk down, take it lightly. I don't mean that I think Terrence Crawford is going to be walking this guy down and overwhelming him this whole match. But I'm saying don't be shocked if there are not moments in this fight that you see Terrence Crawford being the guy moving forward and Canelo being the guy measuring himself. We'll see. If the fight comes together, let's see what happens.
See what happens. I'm going to keep it. Look, anything can happen in boxing. I think that Terrence poses a lot of threats that are kryptonites to Canelo. But I just don't see him, in my opinion, I don't see him beating Canelo. I think Canelo just has too much power in those rights and left. And I think to Terrence just
You're breaking up again. You're breaking up. Shout out to everybody in the building. If you haven't hit the like button, please take your time and do that, man. Hit the like button, help the channel out. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Become part of this this community. We are building this community. I appreciate everybody who's in the building right now. I'm actually about to open up the link so guys can come up here and build. You know what I'm saying?
Please do.
We're gonna do that right now.
But yeah, I just think that what I was saying is, well, you know what I mean? Like it leaves opportunities. So we'll have to see. Like I said, only time will tell.
Yeah, bro. When they fight, man, they fight. Canelo. I mean, everybody says Canelo wins. I look. I won't argue that Canelo will win because he definitely should win in many ways. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he's too light, God. Child, I apologize for you for that comment, man. I don't think it's about the weight. I think Terrence has enough skill set to pull it off. Weight doesn't always mean something when you're so close in divisions, right? He's at 154. Terrence is a walk around, maybe 180 pounder. Canelo's somewhere in the 10-pound range of that. They're close in walk around weight. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. We'll see.
Yeah. It's going to be a great fight, man. And if Terrence loses, he loses, man. Boxing was never, man. It's about the challenge. It's about the competitive nature of the sport. I want Terrence to win, but if he loses, I hope he loses in style, man. I hope he loses with grace. You know what I'm saying? I hope he goes out. Not necessarily on his shield, but showing the best version of himself that night, man. I know he wants to test himself in that way, and he wants to prove something to himself and prove something to the history of boxing. Wants to be in the history books for doing something spectacular. You got to celebrate him for trying to go for that, man, and earning the right to go for that by earning all the accolades he has in boxing. To even be in that conversation is respectful. To have a Turkey Al-Sheikh willing to put up millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars behind him in support of him doing that is amazing. You see Teofimo struggling to make that fight with Terrence. Who's behind Terrence? Who's behind Teofimo saying, here's the big bag to Terrence? Who's calling Terrence and saying, look, I got 50 million guaranteed for you to fight Teofimo? Nobody. You know why? Because nobody believes in that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody cares about that. You got somebody who got millions of dollars and access to resources who says, I believe in this. And Terrence's accomplishments in the ring is what's delivered that message. He sold himself to the space. So shout out to the boxing.
Boxing source.
Yeah.
What's up? He just wants to ask for
Yeah, you breaking up again. The boxing swords. Let me ask you though, man, not to turn this into an interview, you know what I mean? But I am interested into like, because I know yesterday we talked a little bit and I heard about you like traveling and kind of being involved in the boxing game in a certain way, like in a journalistic way, potentially. I'm not too sure, but if you don't mind expounding or speaking on that a little bit about your background in the space.
Yeah, pretty much started in a journalistic fashion for photography before going into the podcast space through Blog Talk Radio. That was some time ago when I started on Blog Talk Radio, and then just transitioned over to the whole thing with the YouTube and Rumble thing that I'm currently doing right now. But also, still doing the journalistic thing, still putting up articles on websites and that type of thing. So that's been my background.
No doubt, man. I could tell you definitely have some sort of background because it was real good talking to you yesterday, man. I love talking to like intellects with some scholarship in the space, man. All your arguments were sound, man. I don't think I disagree with too much of nothing that you said. Yesterday I thought you were super sound. So, man, it's an honor to have you on the platform today, man. Thank you for coming to the channel, man. Thank you in advance.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just reaching out and chopping it up as far as like, a couple of topics that you had on here today. Did reach out to you via email. So, as far as like the stuff you was talking about yesterday, that just be on the lookout, and you'll be able to follow up with all that too. So
yes, sir.
That way you'll be in the loop. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'll definitely respond. Let me see here. Yeah, I see you right here. Contact. I got you right here, bro. Thank you, man. Yeah. Thank you, bro. Yeah. So what you think about some of the topics? We were talking about a lot of things today. Well, I mean, is there anything you wanted to build on?
Well, I did send something in reference to that part about Teofimo Lopez.
Right.
But that's through MP4 format, because I had talked with I usually talk with the trainer the trainer there for David Morrell Jr. among many others, such as Andreas Kasarakis. And also Jamal Charlo and Coach Ronnie Shields, right? And in one segment, we talked about the thing there with Teofimo Lopez, and I pretty much went on a rant about Teofimo Lopez because of his actions over the course of his professional career. And we talk about the whole thing in reference to what could have happened on March 13th, and his actions over the past year have pretty much like had Top Rank be at their last nerve with Teofimo Lopez. Right. So don't be surprised if Teofimo Lopez gets the Mikey Garcia treatment.
Wow. Get just frozen out, right? This the ultimate freeze out. I see it coming, man. What do you think about this whole entire Subriel Matias situation, though? You know what I mean? It just seems like there was an opportunity, obviously, last year for them to fight. And here, Bob Arum bringing them full circle seems real determined to make this fight happen between him and Subriel. Seems like something realistic. I mean, is this like, I know how a Top Rank gets. I know when they get upset with you, you can tell with the matchmaking. You can kind of tell you can see all those things coming full circle. That's how they get upset with their fighters. That's how they act. What do you think about it, watching this whole Subriel Matias kind of iron out and watching the decisions and the way Teofimo's reacting to the matchmaking as well at this point?
Okay, like in the rant, it's part of a show that I was on yesterday. I had a rant about Teofimo Lopez, but the thing is about Teofimo Lopez turning down fights, and it's been reported that he turned down multiple fights over the course of 2024. Okay, one of them was actually Ryan Garcia, right? And that's how he ended up having this fight against what was it there in February, right? And also. Yeah, with Jermaine Ortiz, right? So that's where you had that. Now, the other one was the potential fight against WBO champion in welterweight Brian Norman Jr. Right. So at that particular point, I got reports that Top Rank was around their last nerve then, and that's where you potentially could have had Teofimo Lopez facing Jerome Boots Ennis, because they were pretty much like at their wits' end with Teofimo Lopez. So I guess the thing there with Subriel Matias was like their last resort, and you had Mike Cobbinger reporting or putting it out there that we could be close to that fight happening, and I'm like, I'm not all too sure about that, because Subriel Matias is a former IBF champion, but is it something that Teofimo Lopez is like kind of interested in doing. And if he don't feel like he's getting the right amount of money for it, then he ain't gonna do it. So yeah, Teo, it's a wrap.
Well, look, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the payday, right? That's what I think that's what most fighters would like to look at it as, right? It's pretty much simple math. Like if he's a big threat, I want a big number next to him for me to go in there and take care of this threat. I'm hearing rumors that there was like somewhere around $3 million being offered to him, guaranteed to fight Subriel Matias. Did you hear anything about that?
Nothing in reference to the financials, but something, but about like $3 million. He should have took that.
He should have took that, right?
Yeah, if he was offered $3 million, he should have took that.
I think it's an official duck if it's true that he was offered that and he didn't take that.
But the thing about it is that for in that case through Top Rank, anything where a person's above $1 million for a fighter or something like that is going to go to pay-per-view. And if that's the case, Teo versus Matias on a pay-per-view. How
does that turn out? Right,
exactly.
I think it's a 50-50 shot because Subriel does have that Puerto Rican support behind him. If they do that in Madison Square Garden, Teofimo also has, a little bit. He has a little pull in New York. Maybe it could be done. I don't know. But look, Bob said he was reluctant to do it because of the piracy and everything like that. So we know how that goes. Let me just go ahead and bring my guy Fighting Word with Bangs in real quick into the conversation. How you doing, Bang?
What's up, world? What's up, world? How y'all feeling out there, man?
Did you get my message on the gram about that Texas, the Houston boxing that I was watching? I know you had it. You had it on your live. You had it on camera, but it was like.
Oh yeah. Man, a lot of people was calling me, talking about, man, you everywhere, ain't you? I said, yeah, man.
No, that was diabolical. Yeah. I enjoyed that, bro. I enjoyed that situation.
Yeah, we had fun out there, man. My little partner I work with, he be fighting on that little event. You know what I'm saying? He be doing his thing out there, man. So I have to go out there and support him.
Yo, Houston is basically doing something similar to what I don't know if you guys are familiar with what Kimbo Slice started in the P. Ryan projects in Miami. They used to have like these little boxing tournament. You know about that, right? So him and Ferg and all those treetop, we used to be out there throwing hands, and that's actually where George Masvidal came out of, and a lot of fighters that you see came out of that situation. So in Houston, Texas, they're doing something similar to that, and in my opinion, a little bit more organized, a little bit more competitive. The fights are a lot more competitive. Boxing source.
Oh, who is that? Who is starting that over in Houston? Because I think it may be
that's the Ellis twins.
Right, I see twin brothers.
Yeah, the Ellis twins. Yeah,
that was interesting. I ended up watching that. I was doing some work here and I had it playing, and before I knew it, I wasn't working no more. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, they had a chick out there, man.
The ball-headed one?
Ball-head. Oh my God, bro! You had to see it in person.
She beat up two chicks, bro.
You had to see it in person,
dude. But she's not even. She don't look like she was gay. She looked like. I mean, not to put out anything out like, but she looked like real feminine in her energy. But
bro, that's what I was saying, bro. Like seeing her, I seen her had her hands wrapped earlier in the day. And I was like, damn, she looked like she really be in the gym though, but she's a looker, like really like a looker, like yeah.
I'm like, look at her. But when that bell said ding, it was a whole different energy, bro.
Yeah. Had a smile on her face half the time of the fight.
Beating the brakes off these girls, man. It is what it is. Anyway, I don't want to make it about something that we aren't all familiar with. I definitely was happy you came up here because I'm like, I sent you something on Instagram like, yo, that event was crazy, bro. But so
it was fine.
How you feeling, man? What's on your mind, man? I ain't talked to you in a minute.
Man, I just wanted to touch on the Teofimo thing a little bit. No, pause. That was crazy. That was crazy. But now I just
wait a minute. What are we doing?
That was crazy. We talking crazy in 2025. We starting early, goddamn.
Early with the nonsense.
Hey man, but for real though, man, I think Teo, you know what was so crazy? I'm totally like, I understand how good Teo is. I used to be a fan of Teo until he beat Lomachenko. And he started acting, he started showing character flaws. You understand what I'm saying? But I never say he can't fight. I never say that he's trash or nothing like that, even though he gave us the performances that he gave us as of lately. Excuse me. The thing is, everybody's saying, oh man, Devin Duck. All right. Well, we heard Bill come out and say we turned down the top ranked deal because we didn't like it. The better deal was the Turkey deal that they didn't even look at. We sent the Turkey deal out first. Right. And they didn't even consider it. So then they come back with another deal that's putting all the chips in Teofimo's corner and leaving Devin out to dry. So they was like, bro, it was a bad contract. The better contract was the Turkey contract. Not only that, nobody talks about how Teofimo avoided Devin Haney after he beat Lomachenko. They don't want Devin Haney had Devin. They say, oh man, he got his belts from Kambosos. He tried to get him. He tried to get him from Teo. He tried.
On camera, confronted him outside of rings, calling him out. You know what I mean? We saw the 20. I need $20 million. I need $10 million. All the nonsense that Teo's dad was saying, and basically his representation was speaking. Yeah, 100%. They don't talk about it.
That's bad business, bro. You got Teofimo sitting outside the ring doing the interview, and Devin Haney walk up. First thing you do is, here comes this guy. Like, bro, this is supposed to be your next opponent, bro. This is who everybody's clamoring for you to fight. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't be understanding that, bro. Like it's weird to me. Now that we're in today's day, everybody's calling Haney a duck for not accepting the bad contract from Teofimo. But nobody talks about the fact that Devin chased that man for a couple of years.
100%.
For a little while. Nobody talks about that, bro. Like, why are we so why are we so quick to forget about those things? You understand what I'm saying?
Because it's Devin. You know it's because it's Devin. It is what it is. And it's like, I'm not a big Devin fan, right? I'm not, man. I always say that, but I'm always going to speak the truth. I'm going to speak truth to power, bro. I'm not going to sit here and join the campaign of just jumping on this dude like that, bro. Y'all been doing it for a long time, man. And you know, it turns into, yeah, you're a Devin fan. I'm really not. I mean, I'll be honest with you. He doesn't have the most exciting fights. I'm not this big fan of him, but I do see the one-sided, the way y'all treat him, the way certain people treat him, and the way they'll just jump on him because of what his father's saying. And I mean, it is what it is. He's a grown man. He's 10 times richer than me, so I'm not feeling sorry for him. I got this little violin I'm playing for him, and how everybody hate on him. I ain't feeling that sorry for you. But when we're talking about situations like this, where bad contracts versus good contracts with duck talk and those type of things, we can highlight the reality of the situation. And the reality is that Bill Haney is too savvy of a businessman and a hustler in this space right now to play himself and allow himself to believe for 1 minute that his son should be on the B side of a Teofimo Lopez pay-per-view fight under Top Rank, where he could have got the bigger guaranteed bag clearly with Turkey Al-Sheikh. Why in the world would he do that? And let's keep in mind that Top Rank is in their last year with ESPN. Rumors are that he's going to the zone anyway. We already know Turkey's going to be involved there. So if we're going to make the fight, I'd rather just wait you out any damn way. Let Top Rank come over to the zone. Let Turkey get involved in the conversation. Let's make the fight then. And we're not going to go ahead and push under the rug that Devin is coming off of one of his hardest, most devastating fights he's ever been in. He hasn't been in the ring for this long. I'm sure there's no coincidence as to why Teofimo and Bob Arum are so dead set on making this fight happen now in comparison to when they could have made it happen 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
You know what? You know what I think? I really think that they looking at Devin now because Devin never got the big purse. Even with the Ryan fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, even with the Ryan fight, when he did the interview with Andre Ward, he said, man, we did a lot of stuff wrong in that negotiation. We did a lot of stuff wrong, from the money to like the stipulations. He said we made a lot of mistakes. He said it. You know what I mean? And I understand that. So now everybody feel like, especially with Bob, because Bob done plenty of business with Devin. He feel like, man, look, man, that boy gonna fight you for crumbs. He's just trying to be on the stage. We're gonna get Devin, we're gonna give him these crumbs, we're gonna make you the A side, whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop. You know what I'm saying? But they not having that no more. So sometimes fans gotta understand, bro, all these contracts and paperwork that get sent and these offers, they don't be solid offers. So yes, I gotta turn it down at least once until y'all start making this shit make sense. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You got to make it make sense.
And I want to add to that and say that Devin Haney and Bill Haney, there's this cloud over him because of that fight with Ryan Garcia, where they want to convince these guys that they're not worth anything anymore, right?
Right.
Meanwhile, they got a Turkey Al-Sheikh who's in their corner trying to put him in the biggest fights possible, right? Turkey wants to put him in big fights. Why would I risk going to fight? You know, that's why he's going over to to BLK
Black
Prime.
Prime.
Yeah,
Right.
he's going there to go ahead and make some money. BLK's probably offering some good upfront money to help them promote. Deontay's doing the same damn thing. So you see Deontay over there. What do you think he's over there fighting for crumbs? No, bro. He's doing the same thing Terrence did. He went over there and got a bag. Deontay's going to get a bag, and they offered Bill and Devin Haney a bag. And they're going to do that until everything gets ironed out, because there's a lot of things moving around right now as far as the DAZN is concerned, as far as the way Turkey bought like 13% of the DAZN, which is the percentage that probably boxing is under, because we all know DAZN does everything from cricket to tennis to golf,
darts.
You know what I'm saying? They do everything. He's specifically involved in the boxing place, the boxing part of it. Let's build Devin up. Let's get him some tune-up, quote-unquote, fights. Let's get him back in the ring, and let's get him ready for the biggest fights that are going to be out there, and the biggest paydays, more importantly, that are going to be there for him. You know what I mean? But let me ask the panel. Let me involve the rest of the panel, bring it full circle. First of all, Ray, you want to do a sound check? Make sure you're on point, because I know you've been. Yeah, there we go. He's kind of trying to figure it out. Well, the boxing source. Did you want to add anything to that or anything, or do you feel any kind of way? Because I definitely want to talk about some other things as well.
Yeah, I thought Ray was going to go in there, but the thing with Devin Haney is very interesting, because with him going from last year, that fight against Ryan Garcia like really affected a lot of things, right? Because, you know, going off of that, you had the thing that was happening there, you know, inside and outside the ring, right? But also, you know, even with all of that going on, he was still at the time the WBC champion at 140 pounds. And then you had the whole thing with them having the mandatory with Sandor Martin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when that happened, it ended up going to purse bid, and only one promotional company bid. Just one. In Top Rank. And they pretty much like said, okay, for this particular fight, you're worth this amount of dollars. And with that being said, they, you know, Haney and his team said, you know what, you know, we ain't necessarily gonna do that at this particular point, and we're gonna move forward. So now, you know, going into 2025, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here with Devin Haney, first with the opponent that he has and how much he's going to get paid for it. Because as we talked about yesterday with the whole thing with the conversation about Turkey Al-Sheikh paying fighters, now with the whole thing with the BLK Prime paying the Devin Haney's, paying the Deontay Wilders, paying Terrence Crawford, now they have an idea of, okay, I'm worth this amount of money because this is what I was paid before. Right. So now you're going to have Devin Haney, whoever he's going to face on BLK Prime. And then after that, if he has a potential fight against a Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, or a Tank Davis, how much is he going to say that he's worth for those particular fights? So I want to see how that turns out.
That's gonna be super interesting, bro. That's gonna be super intriguing. Shout out to everybody in the building. 75 people in the chat right now. Salute to all you guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment to go ahead and do that. But also, you know, more importantly, the biggest thing you can do to help the channel right now is definitely hit that like button. Let's make the likes look like how many people in the building. I appreciate everybody who is here. Yo, guys, I want to talk to you guys about this up and coming Keyshawn Davis versus Dennis Berinchyk. It's been announced. We already knew it was coming, but here we are, right? What a year Keyshawn Davis had. Let's bring it full circle. He's fighting for the WBO title on February 14th. This fight holds a lot of weight. 135 in some people's mind, wide open for somebody else, for a dance partner. Let's not even sugarcoat it. A dance partner for Tank Davis to give the big fights that the fans been looking to fight, that they've been looking to see at 135. I mean, how we feeling? We're going into this fight against an Eastern European, and I say that because these guys are notorious for coming and shutting the party down, right? These guys come to your party, turn the lights on, say, I don't know where you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Kick the whole DJ booth over, mess the whole party up. If you want to mess a party up, invite an Eastern European, you know what I'm saying, to it. They're there to upset, mess the whole party up, but still a great fight, man, for this kid. He's got to be favored going into this fight. Speak on it, guys. What do you think about it?
Y'all go ahead.
I was, I already touched on this, but I just wanted to bring it full circle. It's not just boxing that these Eastern Europeans are dominating in combat sports. They're doing it in bare knuckle boxing. They're doing it in the slap contest. They're doing it in MMA. They dominating full contact sports in a lot of different ways, man. These guys are bred fighters, and they're up to the task, and they don't believe who's in front of them is going to stop them. They have courage. They have abilities. You know what I mean? They just show a lot of dynamics in their skill sets, and they're very patient. The biggest thing is they're key and they're patient. They seem to be the kryptonite for a lot of slick fighters, especially slick black fighters in the United States. It's like they've been studying us and they've been working on their craft to develop to try to defeat us, and they've had success doing so, or staying in the ring with us and making us look like we're at our worst fighting them against them, right? So what a Keyshawn Davis, does it look any different? Do you have a situation where Keyshawn may be dominant? Very possible, but then, like I said, the adjustments are always there. These guys adjust on the fly. I don't know if there's the language barrier because they can scream in a different language and they hear their coaches and they listen in the ring, or they just like work on multiple things at once and they just get in there and they just make it work. At the end of the day, these dudes in East European or boxing, they're showing the world who they are, man, and they putting themselves on the map for real.
No doubt, man. Bang, you want to tap in?
Yeah, hey man. Not only that, I'm in complete compliance. I'm in complete compliance with Ray. But this is the thing. This is another thing that I'm noticing about this Keyshawn situation. Keyshawn might be setting a Friday night trend. Like he might be the poster boy for Friday night fights. You know what I'm saying? And he's constantly moving forward. Ever since the Pedraza fight, he's been moving forward. Right. You understand what I'm saying? I really, really got a lot of respect for what Keyshawn is doing. He's like I don't know if anybody ever just really paid attention to him. Understand what I'm saying when I say this. That Bo Mac tutelage, you can see it in him because he fights almost exactly like Crawford. The way he throws his punches, his posture, the way you understand what I'm saying? His stance and everything. He almost looks exactly like Crawford out there. Kind of like Kevin Rooney and Mike Tyson. They're not the same people, but you can see the motto in their style. You understand what I'm saying? So I really, really like what Keyshawn is doing. I got him beating Berinchyk in a not so easy fight. But here's the thing: if he beats him easy, that's a statement, bro. Because Tank could have been fighting Berinchyk. That could have been Tank opponent. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, he could have picked him.
For
you know what I'm saying?
What say you, the boxing sword?
All right, so you're going off what he said. I've been very impressed with what Keyshawn Davis did in 2024. You go back to 2023 when he had his fight over in Texas against Nahir Albright. He, officially won by decision, but Texas being Texas, they changed it to a no contest. So what did he do? He went up there, and he had the fight there against Jose Pedraza, stopped him. Then he goes and has his fight over in Newark against Miguel Madueño and has a very impressive performance. And you know what? He said, hey, Miguel Madueño, hey, you want to get dirty, I'll get dirty too. You want to hug and grab and all that, I can do the same thing too. You want to push around, I can do that too. I'll take you down, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So even though, it went to a decision at that particular point, he showed, at least for me at that point,
right,
that he is willing to do anything to get in the nitty gritty. And at that time, with that being part of that Shakur Stevenson card, you started to see a number of people get more interested in Keyshawn Davis, right? Now to his next fight. Norfolk, Virginia, hometown fight, going up against Gustavo Lemos. The day before, well, actually, they already knew, but they knew about Gustavo Lemos saying, you know what, man, I ain't getting down to this goddamn weight, right?
He kicked the scale clean off the stage. Just kicked it clean off the stage and said, get the scale out my face.
So it's like, yo, you know what? As long as he's able to make that weight where he has to be at in order for it to be a fight, I'm still going to fight him. Because I'm going to tell you this, man, going into the fight, I'm like, man, if Gustavo Lemos didn't make that weight, I don't even think he was gonna make it out of Norfolk. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Okay, so he goes in there and he has that performance against Gustavo Lemos, just stopping him within 2 rounds, right? And sold out crowd to Norfolk, all that type of stuff. And he does what he does on the mic, and he calls out Tank Davis, even though he was talking about it in the fight before, right? But guess what? That's when that whole thing with him and Tank started to gain traction. Okay. And immediately after the fight, I talked with one of the representatives of Top Rank, and he said that they had something set up for Keyshawn where they're going to have one fight for him, particularly title fight. And then after that, maybe have another fight back in Norfolk, because they didn't really expect for that fight in Norfolk to sell out as fast as it did.
Right.
But that just shows like how much pull that he has. So come this February 14th, he gonna show up. He gonna show out. I feel he's gonna show up and show out. And then after that, either a hometown fight or a unification fight. Be on the lookout.
I'm feeling that energy.
Is Keyshawn the next? Is it anything between Keyshawn and Pernell coming out of Norfolk? Is it anybody between them?
Nah, not
coming out of Norfolk
connection like that.
Say it again.
Keyshawn does have a relationship with Pernell, though. Pernell was there for Keyshawn and
way early.
No. When I say that, I mean like, is it any fighters that came in between Keyshawn and Pernell, like coming out of Norfolk?
Oh no, he's the next one. He's the next one.
Okay. Yeah. He. Hey man, Keyshawn on his way, man, and he putting his brothers on. You know what I'm saying? Man, he got a bright future, bro. Yeah. He got a bright future.
He's doing great.
I think so.
He's headlining these cards, and people are coming out for him, and he's delivering. And one thing I wanted to add in, Boxing Source, that you didn't put in there, because that was great, man. I love that breakdown. You know what I'm saying? But there was also the famous conversation between Keyshawn Davis and Coach Kenny Ellis, right? Where Kenny's sitting here letting Keyshawn knows, you're not on the list. You ain't going to get this fight. We not even thinking about you. You're not on the list. Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see who's on the list now. Has that list adjusted, being that he doesn't seem to care about fighting against Shakur. He doesn't seem to care about fighting against Teofimo. He just wants to slap. Everybody just wants to slap Teofimo outside the ring. Nobody's interested in fighting him in the ring.
Right.
Is Keyshawn now, has he been penned in? Is Tank penned him in and put him on the list?
Okay. I'll go to when you had the whole thing with the media tour with Tank Davis and Lamont Rhodes Jr. And you got the DC one, right?
Right.
Like after the DC one ended, you had the whole thing with the conversation with Tank Davis. Thanks to my guy out there in the PBC, like at that time I was able to talk the first, give the first set of questions to Tank, right? And he was talking about the whole thing with the retirement and everything, right?
Right.
And someone had mentioned that there were a few fighters that he wanted to say, and he was going to call out after the fight on March 1st, right? And initially he asked me, okay, who was it? Who was it? And I was like, man, I ain't gonna say nobody. I ain't gonna say nobody. And then I just threw out the name Shakur, right? And he was like, nah. But as the conversation kept going, somebody else mentioned Keyshawn, and he dismissed it. But I didn't see it at first. But I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking it really might be Keyshawn Davis, and I feel like it is because of what I said earlier. I think the momentum for Keyshawn right now is at an all-time high. And I feel like that is a fight that people would be really interested in seeing.
I agree with you 100%.
In the DMV, DMV, somewhere around now. That fight should be held somewhere around now.
I'm glad everybody on board with that. I'm sorry, Clay, my bad. I was on board with that too. I was saying the same thing, and I was thinking they probably do something at either Virginia Tech or Virginia Stadium. Somewhere big in Virginia. It's a lot of places, a lot of stadiums where they can get it popping out there, and that will make it a really. Indoors. If it's summer, they can do it outdoor in the football stadiums. Which is a big crowd. They can do it in basketball gyms, which is a big crowd. A lot of places. So, that's going to be something big.
For indoors, it would be like that Capital One Arena, because remember,
that, yeah.
Hector Garcia bought a $5 million gate, but the
There you
other
go.
one was M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore in the summer. I think they were having something where they wanted to have a fight in a football stadium, so
That
have it at
works.
M&T Bank Stadium.
Yeah, hey, look, and I totally agree with that. You know, Tank said that he say that Baltimore Ravens team don't give him tickets. They don't do nothing. Like he say they trash out there. So I don't think it's gonna happen in Baltimore. But I like the Virginia locations that y'all mentioned, but I don't think Tank is gonna give that. I don't think he's gonna give that. Yeah, he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. So I'm thinking DC. I'm thinking DC, or I said the DMV, but maybe Atlanta. Maybe Atlanta.
Yes,
Atlanta be fire for him.
Legitimate spot.
That fight that he had against Yuriorkis Gamboa in Atlanta.
It was a good turnout. It was a good turnout. But I think I don't want to negate the spot that a lot of people work their tails off to be in, man. You know what I mean? It could be Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be Vegas. You know what I mean? It could be
Vegas is easy.
If the budget makes sense, if they can get the budget behind there with Turkey and Top Rank going over to the zone. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Right now, Keyshawn, we're gonna look for you February 14th. We're speaking far out into the future, but you got a big task ahead of you, man. Dennis Berinchyk is nobody to sleep on. Put your bifocals on, put your blinders on, focus on this guy. He deserves it. He deserves all your focus. He's earned all your focus. This man is there for the upset. Don't look left. Don't look right. Keep your eyes on the prize. And we'll see you on February 15th and talk about what's next for Keyshawn Davis. But also on that undercard, look, guys, he's back again, man. Mr. Activity, man. Quite possibly the busiest man in boxing today, man. This guy right here shaking up the space, my personal prospect of the year for 2024, right? Now, he ended the year last year. Competitive fight, man. Let's be honest. He ran through the opponent, you know, when he shook out the Cowboys, but he got sound in his pockets twice. He's going in the ring right now with, Manuel Jaime. This is the guy, if you guys don't know, fought Rolly Romero. Didn't look that good. Clearly a tune-up, stay busy fight. But are you guys looking forward to seeing any improvements in Abdullah Mason in this fight? Outside of staying busy, what did you see in that last fight that you feel like he could show us something in this fight to show that he's making these adjustments?
I think he slows down. He takes his time, works on craft in the ring, footwork, things of that nature. I mean, listen, this guy, and I don't want to be funny, but he's food, bro. He's 100% food. We see that he's definitely Rolly's twin. I keep calling him Rolly's twin because he's like the super soaker Rolly. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, he's going to take his time and do what he needs to do and work on his craft that he needs to work on going forward. This is a perfect opportunity. Every time you have a setback in the ring, what you do is you want to go backwards a little bit, half a step. You want to get your developments on, work on some things for your next fight. This is the perfect way, especially him about to turn into contender mode. So this works. This is a very good opportunity for him.
Right. And definitely an 8-rounder, by the way. I saw somebody ask if it's a 10-rounder. It's an 8-round fight. But anybody want to tap in on Abdullah?
That last fight on Keyshawn undercard, round of the year. That's it, round of the year. You understand what I'm saying? And it's crazy because I'm giving that to a prospect. That young man, his jab, you can tell how mature he is for his age by his jab alone.
Yeah.
He got one of the most mature jabs amongst his peers, as far as like the people in his age bracket. You understand what I'm saying? I do expect to see improvements. I will say this though. The hooks that he got caught with, what was left hooks, right? It was left hooks that he got caught with that dropped him.
Yeah.
He one of those, he had his hands up. It was just one of them punches that got through.
It came around. It came like around his hand. It did.
Yeah,
shout out to right hand to Brooklyn, man. Salute to you, gang. No doubt. Go ahead, my bad.
Peace.
Yeah, no, so yeah, my bad, my daughter over here tripping. Now, so look, I think his improvements are Oh, in the bag. Hold on, y'all. 1 second. My bad.
Go ahead. Take your time, family. Take your time. Go ahead, Source. You want to tap in?
Like you were saying, man. I said I was out there in Norfolk. Shout out to brother Aladdin out there for Top Rank. I was out there ringside. And when he said round of the year, that's what I saw, round of the year, man. Because like if you got ESPN Plus, right? If you can always go back to the fight that you got on ESPN Plus, but you might be able to see a little bit of a familiar face around there, around ringside during that fight card, whatever it is. But that first round there, man, I was like, when that first knockdown of Abdullah Mason happened, I was like, what happened, right? And then he got up, and then he went back in there and got in the trenches, and then he knocked down Johan Vasquez. And when he knocked him down, I thought it was over. I swear, I thought it was over at that point. And then for Vasquez to get up and to actually score the same punch and get that same knockdown again, I was like, wow, right? But shout out to Abdullah Mason. They're in between rounds there, with his father, just, calmed himself down, got patient, and then worked on trying to get to Johan Vasquez and break him down in the fight with a body shot in the second round. So shout out to him on that. But to brother's point, it kind of slowed them down a little bit because they were planning on having Abdullah Mason start on 10-round bouts this year.
Right.
But now, here with this announcement coming up for the fight card on February 14th, it's still going to be scheduled for 8 rounds. So, we're going to see him kind of like gradually work on what he saw there in that first fight with him, having that issue with, getting that left hook landed on him, and kind of like improve on that. And then see if we're going to see him in like 4 fights or 5 fights this year like it was in 2024. So I'm definitely looking forward to him and what's next for him there. But yeah, that fight right there, man, I'm telling you, watching it there live, it was crazy.
Crazy fight indeed, man.
And just to say and add on to that too, right? So let's look at Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason seems to be fan driven. It looks to the point that he's been that way because the fact that he's been getting a lot of acknowledgement from the fans as being this phenomenon, which he is. You know what I mean? Well deserved. But it looks like that as they're doing so, we're starting to see him go into these fights and looking to just be a killer, looking to just get these guys out the way instead. And I think me and Clay talked about this a couple of fights ago, not even the last fight, like maybe 3 fights ago. We were like, yo, does he need to slow down? Does he need to develop, take these guys into deeper waters, work on some skill sets in the earlier rounds that, this right here is the perfect opportunity for him to set himself back in motion to get him into those situations where he learns to slow it down, get the pace, control the fight early, and then work on his craft, get the guy out of there within the middle of the fight. That gives him rounds in, that gives him ability. And people have been calling for that. Some true boxing fans have been calling for that. Some are just saying he's just this phenomenal knockout artist. And I think sometimes things like that go to boxers' head. We've seen with Devin Haney. Oh, this guy don't get in the middle of the ring and stand there with nobody. And look what he did. He got out of his element. So I think we need to this is all fighters. This is just something that all fighters need to really just sit back and relax and take heed into understanding that. Listen, man, stick to your game. As Clay would say, Mike Tyson always said, on you, Clay.
Make sure you leave the party, the dance brought you to the dance. You know what I'm saying? Leave with the same person. You know what I mean? Don't go in and get brand new because you cute all of a sudden. Now the guy who brought you to the party ain't as cute as you no more, and you looking fast in the booty, messing with the next man. The dude who brought you there and thought your ugly ass deserved a date, make sure you leave with him when he turns out you fly. When it turns out you fly, leave with him.
Listen, Clay, listen. Okay, you gotta go in there. And you go into the party and you leave the party with the same, whatever it is. I don't forgot.
He got the one.
Yeah, he got it. Clay got it. I just put him on the spot, but no, Clay's favorite line, man. Listen, Clay's favorite line, but for real, man, you know what I mean? Make sure you leave what brought you to the party, right? So. Yeah. In all essence, that's what he has to do, and he got to boxing doing what? Boxing. And then once you get into your fill mode and you feel that you're this killer and you're a killer, but you don't realize who your opponent is, right? Because you're just fighting people that people just expect you to walk through. That plays a part in your mental. You get in there, and what happens? Surprise shots like that, and you get knocked down twice in one round. So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, hopefully he's, you know what I mean, he dials it back. I mean, I think he made the right adjustment. He still was on his the pressure in the second round when he did the body shot and he knocked him out. I think hopefully he dials back, the team dials him back, like, look, slow down, develop the fight, get to a certain point, then step on the gas. I mean, that's how most fighters should feel the opponent out, see what they're bringing to the table before you go in there and rush in, man. This is chess, not checkers. And sometimes people want to play checkers.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
He's just young and full of vigor. You know what I mean? Like he got that, you know, he going off pure athleticism and adrenaline right now. You know what I'm saying? I think he gonna get to the point where he start to calm down and figure it out, because once that competition start to level up, everybody not gonna go. Right. Like as far as you're not gonna be able to get rid of everybody. I don't care how hard you hit. Mike Tyson is not 100% knockout ratio person. I mean,
even better Biev had to fall. Even better Biev had to go to the later rounds, and he was
right. So you know it happens. You know what I'm saying? So once he realized that, and he got and I feel like his daddy, man, one time for his daddy, man, for real. One time for his daddy, man, for real, man. Yeah. For real, man. He doing his thing, and you can tell he raising them right. You understand what I'm saying? So he seems coachable. He seems teachable. You understand what I'm saying? So I think Abdullah gonna be all right, bro. We're gonna see the adjustments. I feel like we're gonna see the adjustments.
Me too. I'll be looking forward to seeing too, man. Because I want to see him make those adjustments, man. I want to see him get better. I said it before, the matchmaking is there for, obviously, you build up the market value and you build up the exposure of the fighter, but there's also some development that's needed there. And the matchmaking should be promoting the development. You know what I'm saying? Let's see him get better, because obviously the big prize is a championship, and everything beyond the championship, right? Unification's undisputed, moving up in weight classes, fighting some of the faces of boxing. We see it all for Abdullah Mason in the coming future, but it doesn't happen without these fights turning out the way they're supposed to be turning out. So let's see him get those rounds in. I'm looking forward to see him show some poise, get some good rounds in. I don't want to see you play with your food, but you know what I mean, don't rush in there and just try to demolish him inside that first round. If there's an opening, do what you're supposed to do, but you know, take advantage of the opportunity to get better. You know what I mean? And develop.
What do y'all see him capping out at? Like as far as like weight,
like 154.
Oh, 147. Oh, you think 154? I think 147.
I mean, he's what is he, man? Like barely 20 years old right now.
Right.
Yeah, he's still growing, bro. I think he got more than 2 more weight classes in him.
I think he can make. I think he'll make 154. He might top out at 154, but I think he might. I think he'll be king of the ring at 147. I personally think he should move to 140. I think he should move to 140 now, because I think his opportunity for a championship at 135 is going to be a tough road. So I think 140 might be the move for him going forward. Me and Clay talked about this multiple times, and I think that division is not only does it have a lot of people in that division where he can get good fights, but it puts him on notice, and it gets him to the championship faster, because these belts are just slinging around, going from people to people. You know what I mean? So it's an opportunity for him to get a championship quickly there.
Okay, so look, answer this for me. Do you think 40 is safe for him right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
With him still being in development, you think 40 is safe right now?
I want to see him. I want to see him develop. I think 135 is where it should happen at right now. 140 is for the opportunities. I think there's people who can, you know, like a Gary Antoine Russell, or you know, there's just fighters up there that could be dangerous. He can end up in the wrong conversation, even with an Arnold Barbosa, or you know what I mean,
right?
Adderall, or even there's fights out there that could be tricky. And the experience ain't gonna hurt him. I think Bob Arum did the right thing, man. Let's just take a step back. You had a real busy year. You fought 6 times last year. This last fight, you know what I mean? Let's just get you back on point. Let's remind you of, you know what I mean, get that confidence.
How this works. Yeah. You know what I mean? But because if you think about it, and I don't mean to cut you off, I do apologize. But if you think about it, he had a hard fight a couple of fights ago. It was a few fights ago. He kind of went out there and I might be thinking about Camille Moten. That's Camille Moten. I'm tripping. My bad. That's my fault. That's my fault.
He's been just crushing these dudes.
I think you know, to Ray's point about like getting the rounds in, because I think you kind of referenced Abdullah's fight that he had in Newark. I think it was the one in Newark in July where it was like another like 2 rounds or so where he didn't really have that much issues at all with that opponent. So like him getting the rounds in would kind of like get him to be more experienced in the instance of fighting different styles and going up against tough opponents to where, okay, they're not necessarily going down in the second or third round. Okay, what else do I have to work on in order to see if I get them out of there like in the 5th round or the 6th round of a scheduled 8-round bout. So I think that's something that we got to look for him in this next fight.
I think his competitive fight should be at 135. Like his first real like opportunity to become a champion or something should be at 135, and then let's see him. But depending on that fight, maybe make some decisions to get out the way. Because I agree with Ray that 135 is kind of like spicy right now. A lot of drama going on. You know, you got Shakur there, you got Keyshawn there, you got Tank there. You know what I mean? Even with Vasily Lomachenko, the way he's kind of moving. They're kind of like in a love triangle. He's not going to get in that.
You named a couple of fighters that either are or have been with Top Rank, and that didn't even mention Ray Murataya that's there at 100.
Raymond Murataya, for sure.
Right. And let's look at it this way. And let's look at it this way also, just the key in on my point a little bit more. He hasn't fought many 135 fights. He's been over, you know, in catch weights over 135 in his last couple of fights. One. Another thing is him, like Clay said, he should stay down and get his development in. But I think his skill set, and I'm pretty sure if I ask this question to y'all, does his skill set pay the bills for him to move to 140? Just looking at the way he fights, in my opinion, I think he could beat almost anybody at 140. I don't see him having really a problem once he moves up there. I just think he's so damn good. He's a phenomenon, like we said. You know what I mean? Once he gets the key notes down, the patience and things of that nature, I don't think nobody stops him there. So, I mean, to me, it's easy work. I think he could be a champion at 147, even possibly given, Boots would be at 154 by the time you get there. But I was going to say, even giving Boots or whoever the champion there in due time. Oh yeah, his talent is there, bro. It's just development. You know what I mean? Once he develops, we'll see it. But you know what I mean? We'll see in time.
Yeah, we definitely got to see how his chin holds up, you know, in later rounds. What is his gas tank like in the 10th round, the 11th round, the 9th round? Like those are the questions that really have to be answered right now. The skills are there, but the patience, the stamina, and the chin, even the body, we don't even know. We don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So I think he need a hard test at 35, maybe something like I was gonna say Pedraza. You know what I'm saying?
He's a 140 pounder anyway.
Yeah. He a 140 pounder. He might have to pull somebody. I don't know, bro. Like this.
I'll be real with you. I can see him and Schofield making a crazy fight. I could see him and Andy Cruz making a real crazy fight. There's a lot of
because really I can see Andy Cruz. I like that Andy Cruz fight.
I like that Andy Cruz fight.
I love that one.
Andy Cruz could possibly beat him. That might take him out, but
just off experience alone, Andy Cruz. See, that's what I'm saying. See, that's why I don't think like 140, not yet. Like let's lay some bones at 35 right quick.
Absolutely.
And I think and I really think that man, I just can't. It's not coming to me right now. Like who would be the best first step up fight for him? That veteran that might got a lot of. You know, he might got some L's, but he's tough, and he'll drag him.
Right, you got a Josh Party. You got a Josh Party. You got Josh Party. You got a Zero Abdulaev. You got Gabriel Flores, who's a great young talent. That'd be a great fight. You got Abel Chavez. Like, there's a lot of fights there for him. We even got Roger Gutierrez. Like, these are a lot of good fights that he can make. You know
right. Somebody that's tough, somebody that's gonna be able to take what he's dishing out, throw something back. He's also somebody he's also expected to beat. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, can he tolerate like what what's the name with the tight shorts? Charles Martin and Jared Anderson. Not the best heavyweight, but it was a great step up test for Charles Martin. I mean, for Big Baby, right, for Big Baby. So So we get somebody like that for Abdullah Mason, you know what I'm saying? Or like how Pedraza was for Keyshawn. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Like somebody that he can beat, but can tolerate somebody he might not get rid of. He you know what I'm saying? We need to see him go the distance one time.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But
I agree.
You kind of segued and you brought him up. So let's talk about him, man, because Jared Anderson is definitely making his return to the ring on this card as well. He's fighting a journeyman, man. It's somebody who's obviously set up to be food for him, right? Who is he fighting again? It's Marios Calais. I think this dude is sitting he's sitting at like 12 wins, 10 knockouts, 3 losses. It's a fight for Jared Anderson to, to get his legs back under him. We saw what happened with him with Martin Bakole. Obviously got exposed a little bit on that Riyadh season card. I mean, I think we saw that coming. I think most people who just looked at Martin Bakole twice was like, this might not have been the right move for Jared. We kind of saw that early, like, ouch. I'm looking at this guy. George Foreman had a baby with a Larry Holmes, and it was Martin Bakole. You know what I'm saying?
And Sam Peter. He had a baby with George Foreman and Sam Peter. Peter Sam. I would tell how you say his name.
Samuel Peter. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was an interesting situation, a good payday from him for what I understand. Bob Arum felt like he was upset with the whole situation. He said, man, this dude chased the money. I tried my best to talk to the youngin and tell the youngin he got to relax. He's not him yet, but youngin had to learn. Well, he took his lesson. He got his licks. He's back in the game. He's on this undercard. What adjustments are we looking to see from him? Is he going to commit to this sport? Is he going to finally understand he needs to commit to this sport? Or is it the same old Jared Anderson who just got all the right answers? And, what adjustments are you looking to see from this kid in this fight, man?
I was breaking up earlier, but I'm gonna just put it like this. I just don't want to see another what was the dude that fought was supposed to fight Charlo at 154. He moved up, blonde hair kid. No, the blonde hair kid. He moved up to he's at 168 now.
Black? You talking about Jared Hurd?
Jared
Jared Hurd. Jared Swift Hurd.
Hurd, yes, Hurd. Yeah, right. I don't want to see another version of Hurd coming out. You know what I mean? Like and him being that guy that everybody expects to be the guy, right? And then, sorry, pause. But
I forgot to put the pause in there, man. My bad.
It's all right. I got you, Bill. But anyway, I don't want to see another Hurd in the ring with Jared Anderson. I want him to go in there and be and develop. You know what I mean? Like, take this fight seriously. Work on your craft. Setbacks are good for learning experiences, right? So you had a setback. You went in there. You thought you was this guy. You learned. You're supposed to use these as tools to develop and get better at the next level, right? So now you're not taking the next level fight. You're taking a step back fight. You're going to go in there. You're going to do what you got to do. It's a tough fight. And it's good that Bob put him in there with a tough fight, because that's going to make him wary of being who he's supposed to be a boxer, being a ring be a general in the ring, control the ring, and all those things of boxing. So if he continues to do that, then we might see a better Jared Anderson. He already has good footwork. He has he fights well to back foot, but is he able to put this together and make a fight out of it, become a fighter, not a showman? You know what I mean? And I think that's what we need to see from Jared Anderson going forward.
No doubt. What say you, panel? Who wants to go next on this return of America's #1 prospect, heavyweight prospect?
You have to go next.
Well, I still got a lot of faith in Jared Anderson, man, because the skills are there, the heart is there. Patience, listening to your coach. That's it. I think that's the only thing he's missing. He has everything else. Stop trying to fight. What I do like about him, he moves. He do a lot of sparring with Shakur. He do a lot of training with Shakur. So he do a lot of little man stuff in the ring. He just gotta understand how to balance that little man style with the heavyweight style. You understand what I'm saying? Because he got the feet. He got he uses all the tools that a boxer should have, as far as jabs, uppercuts, straights, rights, all that. He does all that. But he got hit with that he took that fight too soon. He wasn't listening to his corner. He went out there on all heart. He didn't do nothing. He never wrapped up. You understand what I'm saying? Just certain like little adjustments, bro. Like once you feel like you, because he couldn't knock him out, and he kept trying to knock him out. That was the problem.
Right.
But it was also a check out of the in the heart category. He got that heart, bro. He say he don't like fighting and all that, but he didn't look like it. He looked like he trying to go out there and get his business. You know what I'm saying? Take care of his business, but he's still novice. He got to understand that part, and you need to be listening to your trainer. If he get a good trainer, like a home base, because I'm Houston to the core. But I don't think, the Rap-A-Lot gym, the Jay Prince gym, I don't think there's no real good trainers coming out of there. They got good talent there, but the trainers is no good trainers there. I think he need to find him a good trainer and listen to him. Somebody that fits for him, that works for him, and listen to him. And I think Jared Anderson still be who we thought he was.
What did you think about the replacement for that one fight with Martin McCauley with Sugar Hill? Do you think that might have been the reason?
I thought that was a good idea,
that was a good move.
But he literally, excuse my English, but he literally shitted on Brett. I mean,
at the press conference, he 100% did.
Yeah, like, man, this ain't my real coach. It's just,
before the fight, right?
Yeah. So it's like, come on, bro. Like, we don't do that. That's another things you need to learn in this game. Exactly. You know what I mean? Things you need to learn in this game. Those are things that you don't do. You understand what I'm saying? So, hey, man, but a coach like that is a great coach for him if he listens. Because I keep wanting to say Bread Man. Sugar Hill is a great game planner. I talked to Greg. When I talked to Greg say Sugar Hill is a real student. He always got his laptop out, looking at fights, studying fighters. It don't matter where they at. He stay with his nose in the sport. You understand what I'm saying? That's a good coach, bro. Like, and I think he's a great heavyweight coach as well. You understand what I'm saying? So, hey, man, he got to make up his mind, bro. You understand what I'm saying? And work on his patience and his discipline.
What say you, the boxing source? How you feeling about this Jared Anderson return?
Whoa, this is a lot. I'm gonna just tell you this personally. This is a lot, and you just reminded me of something there. You being based in Houston, so I'll go through a quick backstory because you said something in reference to this Claymore that was really interesting about it. Okay, I had the title of boxing source, right?
Right.
Right.
One of my mentors, when it comes to the stuff that I do outside the boxing thing and photography, his base was in Ohio, and one of his closest friends is Derry Riley. Okay. The Derry Riley that has been the trainer of Jared Anderson since he was 8 years old. Okay. So when he has been coming up in the heavyweight ranks, they're being signed with Top Rank, he was under Derry Riley. Now, when this fight came up here with Martin McCauley, initially I had thought that Derry Riley was working with Sugar Hill Stewart initially, because when I heard Sugar Hill Stewart, I thought that he was working with the camp with Derry Riley, right? But nope. What had happened was, you talk about the thing there with Houston, Rap-A-Lot, Jay Prince. What Jared Anderson did was he pretty much left all that he did in Toledo and just stuck right there in Houston to prepare for the fight against Martin McCauley, right? And it's interesting, what brother said about what happened after the fight there with Jared Anderson, because he got paid about $1 million pretty much for that fight against Martin McCauley. So yeah, he definitely went for the money in that. But Top Rank, all of them, Bob Arum, Carl Moretti, Todd DeBow, all of them advised Jared Anderson not to take that fight because they had an initial plan for him to go gradually up in the ranks there in the heavyweight division. That's why you mentioned that thing there with Charles Martin and how that fight kind of turned out for him to say, hey, let's slow down a little bit. And then the fight after Charles Martin, they scaled it down significantly, right?
Significantly with Riyadh, whatever his name was. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. So So for Anderson to take that fight with Martin McCauley, yeah, that was pretty much to me a management decision 100%, because I know for a fact Derry Riley didn't go for the fight. Now, in reference to this thing for February 14th, as of 30 minutes ago, actually, I had talked with Derry Riley.
Okay.
And I got the email from Top Rank in reference to that February 14th card. That particular fight wasn't on the list. And when I just talked with Derry Riley, he didn't get any news in reference to Jared Anderson fighting on February 14th. So if the fight actually does go through, for me, I'm going to be really interested to see who is going to be in Jared Anderson's corner if that fight happens on February 14th.
Interesting, man. Yeah, that's because listen, man, it's right here on BoxRec. It's on the schedule. He's on that right now. It's on the schedule. You know what I'm saying?
It's on that thing for BoxRec, but yeah, I'm looking at that email and I'm seeing Rohan Polanco, John Carlos Torres, that Abdullah Mason fight that you talked about, Tiger Johnson against Keyshawn.
Yep.
Nico Ali Walsh to be fighting TBA. I see all that. I don't see a Jared Anderson, buddy.
That's interesting. Well, time will tell, man. Let's see what's going to happen with Jared. Let's see if he's going to even be on the card. And if he is going to be on the card, I think it is going to be interesting to see who's in the corner, because I think it makes a difference, man. I think there are levels of this game, man. And you get to certain levels, not everybody going to go. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to make those sacrifices.
Yeah, you're completely understandable, because, as you say, with me being in the media, but you're there as a fan, and a lot of times you can have that instance where if you have a trainer that's there since you were pretty much a young kid,
right,
there's a certain level that you could get to.
Right.
But once you reach that level and you haven't necessarily kind of like gotten to that next point, then some people will say, hey, maybe you've reached your limit, with who you've been with as a trainer. And even though it's completely something there when you've been with somebody for as long as Jared Anderson has been with Derry Riley. So
no doubt, man. Good luck to Jared Anderson, man. We'll look forward to seeing you do some great things, man. Still one of the top prospects in the American heavyweight space, no matter how people want to look at it. So, let's hope that he can bring something to the table. The heavyweight division is picking up some speed, and it'd be nice to see him part of the conversation there. So Jao Patai just had a 4th round KO of David Naika this morning. Did him dirty, Ray. Really put that dude. I mean, he was down for a long time. But look, that's what Jao Patai does, right? He's he got heavy hands in that cruiserweight division that doesn't really get a lot of light, but Jao Patai is definitely one of those must-see guys there. We've seen Zurdo Ramirez do what he did earlier this year against Chris Billiam, and became a unified champion, the only unified champion in the division. First of all, we'll celebrate Jao Patai for what he did, showing that dominating, he don't play with his food. Really got that guy out of there inside of that first round, beginning of the second round. Naika was in the fight. He looked like he was working that jab, and he was stepping to him and keeping it a mid-range fight, which I don't know how that helped him out. I thought he would have tried to maintain that, establish that distance. But look, Jao Patai, not only is he a heavy puncher, but athletic, right? He knows he understands how to move around that ring. He had great footwork, putting that right foot outside of Nick Apatai's David Naika, I'm sorry's left foot, and just always in range of that left hand, and it ended up doing him dirty with the left hook. But let's speak on that, guys. What do you guys think of Jai Opetaia? He's called out Zurdo Ramirez for a unification title fight, and in the back of your mind, don't be scared to think about David Benavidez. Although he's fighting David Morrell and competing at 175, he's shown interest of wanting to go up to cruiserweight and compete up there, fighting specifically Zurdo Ramirez. He sees that division as a potential move for him if this Better Beef Bivol. I think he's basically anticipating this Better Beef Bivol fight not coming through because of the relationship with the PBC and this whole situation in Turkey. And, I think he's been screwed over with the Canelo. The politics of boxing have not been nice to David Benavidez. And it looks like he's planning ahead for a potential BS move the politics might be offering him, and he looks like cruiserweight might be that game plan. But back to what I was saying, what do you think about Jao Patai's performance? What do you think about him unifying with Zurdo Ramirez? What do you think about him even going to heavyweight at some point. I heard this weight cut wasn't the best weight cut he had. Heard he struggled a little bit to do this weight cut, man. So speak on it, whoever.
I'm good. I
Opa
spoke on it
Tiger.
earlier.
Yeah.
I watched that fight when I came in from work.
Right.
I looked at that fight. I thought about the weigh-ins and the face-offs, and I text Greg and my man Empty the Clip in Philly. I said, man, look, Opa might lose this fight, bro. That Nakia, however you say his name, that boy was
first round was looking first round he was looking good.
He was game, bro. And this was before the fight. I seen the game in his face. That boy was game, man. So I say, man, I don't know. And they came out Opa. They both started fast. They both started off fast. I say, ooh, this look like an old school squabble right here. So I'm watching it. I say, man. And then I seen Opa get rocked at like the end of the second or third round. He damn near got dropped. I say, man, that's what I've been saying. I say, man, I think this dude might, and I'm voting for Opa the whole time because it was the first time I seen him fight. I can't remember who it was. It was a few fights ago. I say, damn, this dude look like B-Ball and damn near fight like B-Ball. But then in the next fight, he fought a whole different way. Like this morning, he fought a whole nother way. So he not the trickiest or super slick, but he got a lot of styles in his bag. I really like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like I like that about him. He got different styles. He inside, mid-range, outside, and he can do either or all night long. He can change styles and hold it for a whole fight. I really like Opa. He impressed me last night. I thought the dude died. Like when Tank knocked out, I was there when Tank knocked out Leo Santa Cruz. I thought he was dead. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like I thought he died.
Yup.
Yes, bro. I thought he died last night, but what this morning, bro. So I was like, man, Opa is even more of the truth than I thought he was. You understand what I'm saying? He was in there with a knockout artist. He wasn't as experienced as Opa, but he only went the distance like twice or something. He was like 12-0 with 10 knockouts or something like that, if I ain't mistaken.
Yeah.
So we know he punching. He definitely punching. You understand what I'm saying? So Opa, one time for Opa, man, for real. One time for Opa.
If I can add on to the Benavidez side of that real quick, unless you want to go boxing source, you can jump in.
All right. Yeah, going with what he said, I wasn't able to catch it live. But looking at the weigh-ins, Naika looked like he had the height, maybe give Jai Opa some problems. And with him kind of like describing the first round, and hey, maybe it was a really good scrap, but I saw the highlights there the fourth round, and when they talk about putting folks to sleep, yeah, Jai Opa Naika to sleep for real in that joint, man. And I was like,
early knockout of the year candidate, man. Early
knockout.
Like,
Yeah, that dude leaned on the ropes and hit him again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn. So man, Opa is like really a force here in the cruiserweight division. And they immediately talked about him having that potential unification fight against Zurdo Ramirez, as he pretty much like called out Zurdo for that fight. But
he gonna smoke Zurdo. I don't mean to cut you off. He gonna smoke Zurdo. He gonna smoke Zurdo, bro.
Zurdo had that what was it, a 12-round fight against Chris Billam-Smith, aka John Cena Jr. And was able to get the decision win on that, right? But yeah, man, Opa. How do win punches, bro?
How do they size up like Zurdo and Opa? Like what's the measurements? Paul, like
you got Opa at 6'2". You got Opa at 6'2" and Ramirez at 6'2", so they're around the same height.
Oh, really?
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's
gonna be
and Zurdo was getting hit in that match against Christian Billamy. He was getting hit. You You know, I don't know if he weathers that kind of storm with the Joao Batalha. I think it's going to be interesting. And like I said, David Benavidez kind of put his hat in the race of to fight Isidro Ramirez to get a title shot and become a champion at division. And, you know, he's not looking away from Joao Batalha either. He likes the cruiserweight division. I think he's getting used to being a big dude, man. And I think he likes it. And he don't want to cut weight like that. That's what I hear. When I hear people talk like that, that's what I hear. But we'll see what he does.
Right. Salute to Rick Timms in the building.
Salute Rick. But that being said, well, you want to tap into?
Yeah, I want to touch on that. Yeah, because I didn't get to talk about the Benavidez part earlier. So the Benavidez thing actually it worries me. It actually gives me some doubt. Not me, no doubts. It shows that Benavidez may have doubts about being a light heavyweight, fighting somebody like Morrell. Maybe he took this fight to see if his tick can withstand the test. If he gets through this fight with Morrell, he's definitely going to use it one way or the other, win or lose, to move up. His excuse would be like, look, I just outgrew these two weight divisions. I've always been a bigger fighter. I want to stay up here where I think I'm more comfortable. Coming down has been this way, right? If he wins the fight, he's going to say, look, I was swinging your hardest puncher, and I have the confidence to go up and fight. Benavidez is definitely looking this to propel himself to the next division, as you said earlier. I don't see him getting in the way of the Benavidez situation. I'm sorry, the Bivol Petervia situation. So I definitely think this is the move for him to go forward. But we'll have to wait and see how this works out, and I think that's what it is. So hey, it's good. It's a good move on boxing, man. Like, boxing needs this. They need the fighters to be stepping up and taking all these challenges. This is what it's about, man. This is what makes us fans of the sport.
No, without a doubt, man. I could see it happening either way, man. Did you speak on it already on Boxing Source?
Reference to this particular topic?
Yeah.
Oh no, right? I was seeing what Ray was talking about, and I think that what he made as far as like the comment for David Benavidez is very interesting going into this bout against David Morrell Jr. Because I'm telling y'all, this is going to be a really interesting fight. I can't wait for February 1st. I'm going to be there live and in living color at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. This has been one of the fights that a number of fight fans have been looking for since both fighters have been in the super middleweight division. Both of these fighters undefeated. You know, you got the thing there with David Benavidez being a former WBC super middleweight champion. You know, didn't lose the belt in the ring, so he's still undefeated. Now he's, had his one fight against Kovacic at light heavyweight. Now going up against David Morrell Jr., who has been eyeing this fight since he was around like 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, right?
Right.
And so it's going to be really interesting to see what David Benavidez does in this bout against David Morrell Jr., because David Morrell Jr. has all the confidence in the world that he would beat David Benavidez. But you'll be able to see more in reference to David Morrell Jr., at least on my side, given that. So, Brother Claymore, I'm going to send you more information in reference to that. But when it comes to, a number of people talking about David Morrell Jr. and his standing at 11-0 with 9 wins by way of knockout. And a number of people talk about the experience there, or the amount of fights that David Benavidez has. Well, the thing is with David Morrell Jr., he was able to win that WBA regular title at super middleweight in his third professional fight against Lennox Allen. Right. Lennox Allen was 22 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw. So a number of the fights that David Benavidez has had, not David Benavidez, but David Morrell has had over the course of his professional career, he's fought guys that have had 22 fights, 26 fights, 30 fights, all that type of stuff. So when folks talk about experience, and actually his coach, Ronnie Shields, mentioned that yesterday. Like,
yes, he did.
All of those guys had more experience than David Morrell Jr. did. And what was David Morrell Jr. able to do? So it'll be very interesting to see what happens here, because David Benavidez has the experience, yes, in professional fights, but he also has experience in championship level fights. So now we got to see what David Morrell Jr. does against a fighter in David Benavidez that has experience in championship level fights.
Yeah, man, I love it. I love it, man. I think it's going to be a real interesting fight. I think stylistically, people are sleeping on how tailor-made David Benavidez may be for David Morrell. You know what I mean? Styles make fights, man, and that's going to be a big word that I think is going to float over this fight. It's going to be about styles, and David Morrell might just happen to be, whether you want to say it's just by God's plan, but David Benavidez, adjustments and styles make fights. And I want to know, does David have the ability to adjust to an inevitable power puncher like David Morrell, who will test that chin? It's going to happen. I believe that he's going to test it. And when that power gets acknowledged, does David Benavidez get on his bicycle? Does he start boxing? Does he stop fighting square up? Does he move his feet? Because David Morrell, he's going to move his feet. He's going to hit you from angles. He's going to put you in a certain position. He's not just going to sit there and play games with you. He is a southpaw. He's like a Boo Boo Andrade with power, with a lot of power. And outside of the power, Boo Boo was in that fight. Outside of power, Caleb was in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Outside the ability to hurt David Benavidez, he was in that fight. It's going to be an interesting fight to watch, to say the least.
So who we picking? Who we picking, man? Who is we picking?
It's a 50-50 fight, but I'm not going to lie to you. I've got David Morrell upset.
I've got Morrell with the knockout, bro. 6th round.
I can't do it because, hey, I'm telling you, I'm like I told Claymore yesterday, I'm pushing this fight February 1st, T-Mobile Arena. It's like I'm working for PBC, okay? So I'm telling you, that fight's gonna be great. That undercard's gonna be great. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it on Las Vegas, and that's pretty much what I got. I got to roll a shout out to Claymore for allowing me on here. Shout out to Ray Davis on here.
Thank you, my brother.
It got a block.
Bang. And my channel is Fighting Words with Bang, man. If y'all want to tune in, man, go check me out, man.
All right, Fighting Words with Bang. So I'm gonna note that down, man, and I'll catch y'all later. Claymore, you know what it is. I got you. So you'll see more here from my brother Claymore on this channel here and through ATP Combat Media. So y'all be on the lookout. All right.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Salute, King.
All right, for sure.
Okay, so look, before we move forward, because I ain't speak my piece.
No, go ahead. For sure. Because we got
right, so look,
topic is gonna be the one. But go ahead.
Right. So look, when it comes to Benavidez, I feel like he's gonna overwhelm David Morrell. I spoke on this on my channel too, Fighting Words with Bang, if y'all was wondering. But I think Morrell is going to be overwhelmed by David Benavidez's, combination punching, his come forwardness. Once Morrell starts to get down on the cards a little bit, or gets frustrated, he's going to stop listening to Coach Ronnie. The game plan is going to go out the window. Morrell has I'm a Morrell fan. I've hung with Morrell. Morrell tried to get me to go to the strip club with him. He good people. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's good people. And he got, he trains in my city. But I just got to call it the way I see it. I think that Morrell don't stand behind that jab enough. He's going to need that against David Benavidez. Because David Benavidez is going to throw that jab, and he's also going to throw the straight right like it's a jab. And he gonna keep coming with extras and overs every time. So I think this is a good fight. It's a good fight for the ages. It's a throwback fight. It's a necessary fight. I don't think it's too soon. I think this fight needs to happen when it's happening. But I got, if not a 12-round decision for Benavidez, I got him stopping him late, like between the 10th and the 12th. You understand what I'm saying? And I will say this. Out of every champion in boxing right now, I'm not gonna speak on the Bam Rodriguez's and the Inoues and those guys right now, because Bam just he really just got here. In a way, he's down there with the smaller guys. You understand what I'm saying? When it comes to competition, you understand what I'm saying? David Benavidez to me is the best champion right now, and I'll tell you why.
Right.
Because he's given us everything we're asking for in a row. I haven't seen David Benavidez take a tune-up yet.
Right.
Caleb playing Boo Boo Andrew. Say it again.
Jesse Hart was going to be the tune-up, and he was like, "Damn that."
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like he don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Jesse Hart,
yeah. Now shout out to Jesse Hart. You know that's Greg Fighter. That's my boy Fighter. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said, salute.
Yeah. Shout out to Jesse Hart, man. But like David Benavidez is only focused on bigger and better things. The only thing that we haven't got from Benavidez that we really wanted was the Canelo fight, and that's not his fault. And that's not his fault. And instead of sitting around, constantly calling his name, chasing him around, taking tune-up fights and all that, he's moving forward.
100%.
You got to understand, Caleb Plant, Boo Boo Andre, Vosnick, which was very dangerous. He's a murderer. You understand what I'm saying? Vosnick is a murderer. That was a good step-up fight for 75. Now he's about to fight Morrell, and if he beats Morrell, he gets the winner out of Bivol and Better BF. Like what? This is Hall of Fame talk right here. This is Hall of Fame pound for pound talk right here. You understand what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, David Benavidez is the best champion right now as far as giving us what we want, not sitting around waiting on nobody and none of that. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah.
But I gotta give Secret Dance movies. Like he ain't no champion for real. Like, but he is a champion. But he ain't.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
No, listen. I got you. Listen, I have to share that sentiment with also our boy down in what's his name, trying to make all the fights, but he didn't take on all the fighters, right? He tried, which is the most hated boxer in boxing, Devin Haney, right? But I'm going to give Benavidez that. Yeah, he tried to make a lot of fights, and now he's just moving his own way, which is good for him. As far as Benavidez, you're right. He doesn't shy away from competition. He always wants the big and best fights. And I like that he does that. My situation with this fight is, and which has me giving Morrell the upset, is that he moves only forward and backwards and turns. He doesn't have any lateral movement. And right. And I think that puts him in a position to be hit by Morrell. I think Morrell does have a nice jab. He does have a powerful jab. And I think he's going to use the jab, and he's going to use a lot of feints. He's going to attack Benavidez's body early. Now here's what you said, right? And I said this yesterday. If Benavidez wins this fight, because I do have Morrell stopping him by the 6th round. If he gets past the 6th round, it is Benavidez's fight to lose, right? I think Benavidez drowns him in deep waters, bro. I think he gasses out by the 8th round, 9th round, and I think Benavidez just takes him out deeper to sea, and he drowns him. That's the only way I see Benavidez winning this fight. Rather, and I said 10th round stoppage, if not 12th round decision. So I actually in agreement with that if he gets past the 6th with Morrell. But I think Morrell is going to sit there. He's going to be very patient. He is a great boxer. He does like to he does have a great boxing pedigree. He just has been he's been a power nightmare. And I think when he fought Hot Rod was a mover, made it difficult for him to hit. And I think when you get into those situations, how do you adjust, right? This is like the 4th fighter that we talked about adjusting in the next fight. And then he's stepping up into a fight where it's a more tougher fight than anticipated. So does he answer the call? I think he does. And if he doesn't, hey, you know what I mean? So be it. Hats off to Benavidez for proving me wrong only twice now. This will be a 2nd time. And you know what I mean? Kudos to him, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Who you?
I think Morrell gets in the Morrell in the 6th, but I got you.
Yeah, 50-50, man, for sure.
50-50. I can dig it. I got
50-50, yeah, 50-50, but I just like Morrell. I think it's a 50-50 fight. That's why I said it can go either way. If it goes past the 8th, it's definitely Benavidez's fight. If it doesn't go, I think Morrell has to get him out of there. If he don't get him out of there, it's over. You know what I mean? It's one or the other.
Facts. Because I feel like the more that the fight progresses, the more Benavidez is going to turn up. So we seen Benavidez get knocked out. I mean, not knocked out, but knocked down against, I call him Gravel. Graville, the dude when he was like 19, 20 or something like that. He ran into something, got the flash knocked down, and he got up off the ground and he got it off the floor. Can Morrell Like, let's just say Benavidez drops Morrell. Morrell got a little arrogance to him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know this. Morrell got a little arrogance to him. If Morrell gets dropped early, how will he behave once he has to get it off the floor? You understand what I'm
That's a
saying?
great question.
Try to get it back.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's gonna be the
Right.
mistake right there.
Yep. Yep.
Don't
Right.
get into a fight. Morrell need to box David Benavidez. Don't get into a fight with him because Morrell got fast combinations. I think Morrell got Benavidez in the power category. I think he got him maybe in the boxing category. The hand speed, they kind of even, but the thing about Benavidez, I think his combinations are faster. You understand what I'm saying? And he throws more in his combination.
Punches and bunches, right?
Right. And Morrell, he got that in him too, but not as much as Benavidez. So I think I just think Benavidez will just overwhelm him, bro. And like you say, if he drag him past halfway through the fight, it's gonna be trouble. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is a good fight to have. This is why this is the type of fight.
Like the most anticipated fight of the year so far. Like everybody,
Absolutely. I had my homeboy say, "Man, I'm tired of watching fights where we know who gonna win, bro." In this case, we don't know. You understand what I'm saying? We don't know. So this is one of those fights that need to be had, man. For real. I like this fight. I love this fight.
No doubt, man.
Real.
Looking out to see
dropping that
David,
knowledge. Salute, my
David versus David, February 1st. You know what I'm saying?
I like it. For real. Yes.
But let's talk about this, man. We haven't built on this. I talked about this a little bit earlier, man. It's getting around that time. Canelo said, give me till January, maybe around. Well, it's January, damn it. It's January, damn it. And the conversation's going on, man. You know, the negotiations, supposedly, conversations happening between him and Terrence. Conversations happening between him and William Skull's team for him to unify and become undisputed again. Where's Canelo going with this one, man? We're going into Cinco de Mayo. He's gonna let us know soon. I would say no later than the end of February. You know what I'm saying? That we'll find out exactly who he's fighting. Who does he fight and why? And is Terrence gonna fight Canelo Alvarez this year? What's gonna happen, man? What's gonna happen? Nobody want to
go ahead, Bangs. I talked about it earlier.
All right, man. So here's the thing, man. I know all you Latino followers might tell you to get me off the panel and all this, man. But listen, man, this is my thing, man. Canelo, what you gonna do? Because you sitting up, you babysitting these belts. You not giving the right fighters the opportunity. You fighting the Berlangas of the world and the Munguias of the world and the William Skulls of the world. Like, I mean, they had nothing to offer you when he was the WBC champ. But when he lost his belt, you petitioned to fight against Avni Yildirim for the vacant title. What are we talking about? Like this is my thing. If Crawford fights Canelo, that fight only makes sense for Crawford. Canelo, if you beat Crawford, you beat a 147 pounder. If you lose to Crawford, you lose to a 147 pounder. You're in a lose-lose situation here, except for the money. I can't reap the benefits off of your money. I'm not a part of your family or your entourage or your team. Right. So as a paying member of this boxing society, right. You feel me? Yeah, you feel me? So when are you gonna give me what I want to pay for? Like, are we just gonna accept the fact that, hey man, he's Canelo and he can do what he want to do? So, I mean, well, I don't want to support that. You know what I mean? Because for me, Crawford is the only winner in that fight. I didn't think he should. He the way he fought Charlo. It's like, bro, Charlo was coming off the couch, injury, a year or something layoff. Like, come on, bro. What are we doing, bro? You got Benavidez out here. You saying Benavidez, they asked Canelo, what does Benavidez have to do to get in the ring with you? He looked at that reporter and said he just needs to keep beating champions. Well, you was the only champion in the division, bro. What are we talking about, bro? Like for me, I'm not with the William Skull fight because I feel like you roaching up on another belt. I feel like you roaching.
Right.
I don't agree with the Crawford fight because it only looks good for Crawford in the end. So Canelo, I don't want to see you scream, I want to rematch B-Ball. That's gonna be the same results.
Right.
Nobody like you move up to light heavyweight with built-in excuses. He dared to be great. Nobody clowned Canelo for losing 12-0 to B-Ball. Nobody. They all said he dared to be great. Right. I don't understand that. But when Devin Haney go up there and he fight a Ryan Garcia who cheated, everybody shits on him. I don't understand these things. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I don't want to see William Skull, and I don't want to see the Terrence Crawford fight. I think Terrence Crawford should put some more pain in at 54. Oh, you know what? I ain't mad at Crawford. Go get that Canelo fight. But shame on you, Canelo. Shame on you. You know what I mean? Shame on you.
I agree. So,
that's my piece.
I mean, I agree to the point of the except for the shame part, because I was telling Clay in the chat yesterday and spoke a little bit on it today, that this fight is more than just a legacy fight. This becomes a legendary fight. This is two legends. This is the Marvin Hagler Sugar Ray anticipated fight at 160. This is the fight from the part 2 of the Sugar Ray versus Hearns fight at 160 160, it should have been 168, but it was 162. They fought at. It wasn't a catch weight. They just came in underweight. But yeah, this is that type of fight, super middleweight, right? So you have guys moving up in divisions, making the fights and tough fights at that. Hearns was another fighter. He moved through the divisions, right? He moved quickly through the divisions to make big fights happen. Even took some L's along the way, some lumps along the way. But he also is known as one of the greatest fighters in the history of boxing, especially from the welterweight middle divisions. Let's just say clearly the middle divisions. The guy moved all the way up to light heavyweight. Again, we have to look at those things and say, yo, that's what's up. Sugar Ray moved to light heavyweight. I don't see no problem with Bud doing the same thing, especially if it's going to put legendary status on the fight, make it one of the biggest fights that we ever seen in the history of our sport. Why not? I get what you're saying, though. I said the same thing, right? Canelo wins or Canelo loses, it's going to look bad on his end. But the money's there. The money should be there. This is probably going to be his biggest fight outside of Benavidez fighting right now. Why not make the opportunity for you both starting in the same time frame? This is your era. We're already in a new era of boxing. Your doors are closing, so why not close it out on this type of atmosphere and this type of arena and make it a WrestleMania moment for the two fighters going out with respect? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, listen, man. I'm a Bud Crawford fan, so it is what it is with me. That's the fight I want to see. I want to see Crawford and Canelo. I think the money's there. And look, that's what's driving Canelo. Canelo's not there for legacy no more. He's there for money. I don't see him making more money than fighting against Terrence Crawford right now outside of a David Benavidez fight, which I'd love to see as well. But David Benavidez showing you that he doesn't even look like he wants to stay at 175. Looks like he wants to go up and fight at cruiserweight. He's calling out Zurdo Ramirez. He's talking about potentially going to heavyweight at some point. He's not coming back down. If you bring him back down, maybe he will do it and take the opportunity to take a David Benavidez, who's gotten used to being up there well over 200 pounds, walking around 200 plus pounds. But at the end of the day, the money, if it's the money, it's either going to be Terrence or it's going to be Jake Paul. And I think we all, no matter what we want to say, can agree that Jake Paul is not the fight we want to see. So It looks like it makes sense. The question for me is, the question for me is, if it's going to be William Skull, it's probably going to be Cinco de Mayo. Go ahead and become unified, become undisputed, because at the end of the day, it sweetens up the pot for Terrence for a Mexican Independence Day fight in September, where Terrence Crawford can go ahead and fight Canelo Alvarez to be a 3-weight class undisputed champion, shock the world. 5-weight class champion, shock the world, and cement himself as, an all-time great, as the best fighter of this era. You know what I'm saying? It did more things than anybody else did it. Duran went for it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fighters have done it. You know what I'm saying? Roy Jones went up to heavyweight and showed what he could do against John Ruiz. So look, man, I'm all for it. Definitely a Crawford fan. So that's definitely going to play its part in my assessment of the whole situation. But man, if Crawford thinks he can do it, I want to see him do it. But listen, there's Diego Pacheco, who's supposed to be fighting against Steve Nelson. Shout out to for LW the Connect, who brought that up. That was a legitimate, Diego's definitely in the conversation. So he could fight Diego Pacheco if he's able to get through Steve Nelson, which I think is going to be a task within itself. I think Steve Nelson is there for the upset. He could do that. But hey, man, let's see what he got coming to him. Look, we've been on for 3 hours, so I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity to close it out, show some love. You know what I mean? Speak on whatever you feel like speaking on, and we can move on to tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, sure. Everybody in the chat, the panel, my guy Claymore Rain, my guy Ray Davis. Yeah, man. Hey, man, put together it sound like Clay Davis.
Hey.
Wait. You know what it is.
If anybody familiar with The Wire, y'all know who Clay Davis is.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, man, y'all, man, hey, man, y'all always show me number love and respect, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate this channel. I see this channel growing. And I see it growing even more, bro. This I like what you got going on, bro. I need to get at you too about. I got a couple of questions for you, but
okay.
But yeah, man, y'all check me out. Fighting Words with Bang, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go check me out, man. Man, we talk that same talk over there too, man. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Clayton support me, Ray Davis support me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying? Everybody in the chat, man, y'all go check us out, man. We, you know what I'm saying? This just a nice little old team we working with here, man. So
yeah, I like it, man.
That's what's up. That's what's
I
up.
appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, man. I'll put your link up. I'm looking for it right now as we're speaking. That's literally what I'm doing.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Bro.
Right. And I was just about to say that. Go follow Fight with Bangs. Great show, great content, great shorts, man. Always dropping and delivering great content. Building with Greg Hackett and other fighters, YSM, other channels. Always, man. Salute to that brother, man. And let's not forget about the other people that came up here. The Boxing Source. Go follow him. Go follow you know what I mean? Ryan Frazier in the building. You know what I mean? Who else was here today? Nick J, Queens of Boxing. Salute to Houston in the building, bro. Yo, Texas is in the building today. Salute to Texas, man. For real. You know what I mean? Let's keep it 100, man. Y'all doing y'all thing out there, man, and y'all keeping it real. And I love it, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what it is. All mutual respect. None of that beef stuff. Building on channels. That's what we about. You know what I mean? So salute to you. Salute to everybody that's in the chat. Ross Clyde, that bum. He always getting at me with Sugar Ray. It's cool. It's all right. Ross Clyde's a historian, though. You know what I mean? Got to respect that guy. But he always, you know what I mean? He be getting at me. It's all good. That's my brother. But yeah, Secret Dance Moves, great questions all the time, dropping the knowledge. And salute to Claymore Rain, man, because he brings us to this panel. And where's Tommy Hill at? You just dropped the horns for Tommy Hill one time. You know what I mean? Because Tommy Hill is definitely a great advertisement piece for the channel, man. And he always knows how to bring everything out for us, as he said, conducts it with his words, and he speaks on it. J Pitt City in the building. Salute to everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for shopping, as they say, right? You know what I mean? The doors will be closing soon. We'll see you tomorrow at this time. Salute, for real.
Man.
Thank y'all.
Everybody, man. Thank you guys as well. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Please remember on your way out the door, if you didn't, remember to hit the like button. Help the channel out. It's free. You know what I'm saying? If you forgot to put a super chat in, feel free to do so. If you haven't, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, take an opportunity to go ahead and do that. Support the channel. I appreciate all you guys. Until the next one, man. We out.
We out. For real.
Never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. They hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation, now I got rollies, all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Squatting all black like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. Oh. I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else, I had to set them straight, yeah. I had to ball, so I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah. I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate.